I don't know. Where can I find this kind of man of God? See better preaching. Now, this kind of thing we need for Nigeria. Just listen to that.
Power! Sit down. I was teaching men of God. They don't even know Bible. If you know Bible, you will know that Africa are very wonderful people. White people are the one that taught us how to do Yahoo Yahoo. We never knew anything about it. If I wake you up now and tell me about Jesus, you tell me, okay, Samala Jakarada Jikwebia Nigeria. When he came to Nigeria, he preached and he introduced Christianity. Lie. In Africa, we had Jesus before any other person. Our forefathers, they have deceived you so much and you believe that your forefathers have gone to hell. Lie. There are more forefathers from the white community that will go to hell than our forefathers. They say they did because they did not receive Jesus. What are you talking about? Who received Jesus first? When Jesus was born in Israel, they never wanted him. They never loved him. The president of Israel, King Herod, wanted to kill him. An angel of the Lord came to Joseph and Mary at night and said, hey, rise up, carry your son. Don't go to Israel. Don't go to America. Don't go to United Kingdom. Don't go to Dubai. Carry the child and go to Africa in Egypt. Can I talk? No. Why did the angel of God leave all the whole countries, including those that have come to bring Jesus to us? Those that think that they are the best. Why did the angel of God leave them and say, carry the child to Africa? It's because in those days, the only place where you find the righteous people are in Africa. A white man can never intimidate me with Bible. I know it more than them. If they were so nice and so powerful and knew Jesus more than us, why did the angel leave them and bring the child down to Africa in Egypt? Today, if you go to so many churches in Africa today, they will say, we have a program. This program is coming out from the land of Egypt. To them, everything Egypt is bad. You will not suffer the sickness of Egyptians. See stupidity. Forgetting that without Africa, there was never going to be Jesus. He was going to be killed in Israel by Herod. They tell you that your forefathers were doing the wrong thing. Now they have brought you Jesus. And they want you to do the way that they are doing. What rubbish? A white man is the one that is going to tell you how to go to heaven. Are they righteous? Eh? They are not righteous. The reason why Africa is dead today is because of them. Up to Peregas.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
The money that Abacha stole from Nigeria, up to today, they are still bringing it back. They know our leaders. Kamko.
Who?
Let me say this. All the politicians in Nigeria are criminals. Sorry. I'm saying all the politicians from top to bottom, all of them are what? They steal the money in billions. Tell me, Abacha stole billions upon billions of money and took it to white people. When he was taking it there, they knew that he was bringing the money. And they knew that that was not his salary. They knew that he stole that money from Africa. But they gave him a place to keep that money. Then they come back and tell us, you know, Jesus loves you. Ah! White man cannot tell me about Jesus. Because if they love us, they will not allow our politicians to look at. If you see all these young children, Yahoo boys that are looking for a way to survive, they manage to steal $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Look at Hush Papi. Hush Papi is facing 22 years imprisonment for little money that he stole from Ndocha. But they help our politicians loot billions, open a bank account for them, and give them to save your money here, knowing that they have stolen that money from poor people like me and you.
Wow.
If they love us, if they want things to be okay for us, they will never allow our politicians to come and bring that money there. They will tell them, take it back to your people. They will not do anything. Few years ago, Tinubu, there was an accusation, an allegation that Tinubu took bullion van entering into his house. This is one of the biggest crimes that a politician can commit. Where is it? They were not in London. Are they not aware that such a case is here in Nigeria? Because billions are going to them. White people will tell you, forget about money. That's why most of our men and women of God, they are like this. Forget that. Money is a material thing. It will not matter in heaven. Have you been to heaven before? It will not matter in heaven. White people is mattering for them. They are the one that brought us hellfire and heaven. But they don't care about heaven. They don't care about hellfire. If they care, they will not allow our politicians. See what EFCC is doing to young children. If a young child manage, I do not support Yahoo. But the greatest, if you want to arrest Yahoo people, start from our politicians. Yahoo. These are Yahoo people, not these children. How did the billions cross over to overseas and you kept it? How many years? They have used it for business. So they have even changed it, gave it to World Bank. Africa goes back to World Bank and borrow that money, our own money. Our politician, our criminal politician. That's why I'm here in Nigeria. Things must change in this country. They steal it. If you have ever traveled to overseas, if you have gone to USA, let me not even say USA. Let me talk about South Africa here. If you have gone to South Africa, and with police dog, he gave for one checking point, two checking points. The type of security. Then how did they move that money? Billions, billions, billions. And now,
good evening, guys. The show going to start at 1 p.m. sharp 1 p.m. So keep watching. There's a reason why I brought this video. So I wish we could have so many of this kind of a preaching in a black community, in a black nation, on the African continent. This is a pastor. He's not a comedian, all right? So I don't want anybody to think that he is a comedian. No, he is a pastor. So I wish we have so many pastors like this who will say the truth of how it need to be, all right? That would be very great to us, because part of the reasons Africa is like that is because of the many fake pastors we have on the African continent who don't preach according to the African perspective, who don't preach what would benefit Africa, but they preach what would benefit the European nation, okay, the Western nation. And they are preaching also make their follower to be oppressed, because they themselves have to oppress their follower. The manner in which they preach is never in the favor of their followers, but rather indoctrination is what they give to their followers. So men like this will never be invited by any African leader to go in that country to go and preach, because they know they'll be awakening the minds of the youth, the minds of the people. And the reason why I brought this video Again, a go in line of what we are about to discuss today. Keep watching till 1 o'clock.
They have white people have used it to make business. It has yielded billions for them. Then they are bringing it back one after the other. Boom. And when they bring it back, they make sure that the president in seat is also a criminal. Once that money lands, since Abacha's money started coming, how much have you benefited? Another politician will steal it again, take it back to them, they will keep it safe. White people. Why they are after our money here on earth? They are telling you to prepare for heaven. An average Christian, his focus in Nigeria, his focus is to go to heaven. Heaven, you started hearing about since we were born that Jesus is coming very soon. He only 40 years. He been Jesus. He been sure. And you don't want to be wise. If Jesus have to come, Jesus must meet you, a successful person on earth.
No decline. No decline for you to be successful.
A crocodile in heaven. A crocodile on earth. Not a lizard on earth. If you're a lizard here on earth, you are going to be a lizard. Don't wake up and hustle and receive anointing and become successful. Don't continue coming to see one. Go to church that will tell you that your reward is in heaven. The man of God that is preaching that thing, if you go to see his house on earth, you will know that heaven is actually here on earth. Hell, all here. They don't care. This the problem. Christianity have destroyed us so much. We don't think like human beings again.
At all.
My business partner wrote us. They want an oil product from Oman. Oman, the family of the king of Oman. They want to. There is something project they want to come and do in Nigeria. For complete 1 week, we are looking for a refinery in Nigeria. We are looking for a refinery. Nigeria, African biggest oil producing country. We are looking for a refinery in Nigeria. We don't have. If it was okay, if things were okay, if white people love us, they will put refinery in every state. We don't want church. We don't want Jesus. We have heard about Jesus. We have seen churches. We have heard all these things. How come they are happy to bring Jesus to us, but not happy to show us how to survive here on earth? 62 years of independence. No refinery. White people, we come from America and come to Port Harcourt, carry our resources. Instead of purifying it and refining it in our land, they will take it to their land. Bringing Christianity here, Holy Bible here, Jesus Christ here is very easy for them. But showing us something that will make us enjoy Jesus, they will not.
Powerful.
They will never show you as an African. They prefer to come and collect the oil raw, go to their country, refine it, and they will call our criminal politicians to come and buy something that came from our land.
So amount of money per barrel.
If you go to a country like Zambia, there, African largest copper producing nation, there is no single plant where white people have mounted saying we are going to produce cable here. They come, they collect the copper raw, they take to their country. Why is it that they are not bringing us technology here in Africa, but they prefer to bring prayer to us? Some foolish African presidents are even praying. Apostle Paul says, show me your faith, I will show you my work. Prayer goes hand in hand with work. You cannot just give us prayer and the religion and Jesus and they run away. We had Jesus here. In fact, Africa saved Jesus. We don't need anybody to tell us about Jesus again. coming for a crusade to gather 1 million people and leave no single industry. If you go to Congo, they are mining chrome for production of phone. The people that are mining it, many of them are dying in the pit. A small child as young as this one that is holding this camera is mining there. When they mine the chrome, they take it to their country and they will make phones and they will bring to Africa. As big as Nigeria is, the giant of Africa, do you have an Apple factory in Nigeria? iPhone 14 Apple relationship women will not rest. They have started jumping from politician just to get it. Even if you love their product, what is stopping them from setting up a factory here? This is Imo State, one of the best and conducive states in Nigeria. There is no single factory here. Ma go do factory can mepota. Oh no! Oh, can I mepota toothpick? Can I talk?
Talk, oh. See your one. Talk.
Jesus himself. If you look at the story of the Bible, love started from God. John chapter 3 verse 16. For God so loved, and because he loved the world, he did what? He gave. There is nothing like I love you, and you don't give. If you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, every day when she comes to you, when the children may go to the church card, I love you. Very soon, the person that can give that money will take her from you. Because there is no love without giving. That is why I am praying for you. They cannot complete this work. You must have to give. For God so loved the world, and because he loved the world, he gave. The example of God himself is giving. White people, hey, we love you. Hey, the love of Jesus is all over you. Africa, we want to show you how to go to heaven. You're not industry here. Our good industry not care. You can't. They will come to here, Africa, loot our resources, go and refine it in their country. Employ their people there. And our useless politicians will go there and buy those things. Come and sell it to us. Africa is becoming poorer. The more we pray, the more we become poor. The more we fast, the more we become poor. The more we have churches, the more we become poor. Because we have stupid leaders. 2023, I see God giving us a good leader. Amen. And God, Jesus himself, because he loves us, learning him and his disciples, they came to him and said, we need money to pay tax. He didn't just give them the money. He also taught them how to get it. Every day we'll jump on a plane, we'll fly. There is a, I don't know how many millions engineers in Nigeria today. None of them can produce a flying broom. Our witches and wizards are more powerful. At least they can fly at night. But we have engineers. Because even white people are not ready to show us the secret. Check what we study in school. The reason why I don't have certificate is because our mathematics. I guess I saw on a copy channel is a Hishasha and what the answer. Oh, he shake in America, in China, They don't have time for this rubbish. God is somebody created by God that want to succeed. And with a biology teacher, come on, I got straight to the point. If you sleep with a woman, I say opera. Opera. Low cost. They are singing wa oyangwa label. It's what white people brought to us to keep us busy. In some school today, and when the sugar and say singing label. While you are busy wasting your time, just the way they did with the Bible, while you are busy wasting your time there, their children are with computer.
Wrong.
When you will wake up, we start looking for job. Who is going to employ you for knowing the part and parcel of cockroaches?
Thank God you let her preach.
Africa, we are in trouble. But thank God for those of you that are coming to see one.
Amen.
Somebody shout hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
But everyone has a different story to tell. Shell, which says it's losing it.
The Tampa market.
In Northeast Africa, precisely on the Horn of Africa.
All right. Good evening, good afternoon, wheresoever it may be at your side. Once again, welcome to WCC. This is Frank. I am your host. The Revolutionary Repatriation Educational Lecture Series aspect of We Charge Colonialism every Sunday at 1 p.m. All right, I can see you guys on. Welcome to you all. I can see Nkrumah. Welcome, Brennan Nkrumah. Welcome worldwide, and welcome to all of you that are watching, and welcome to you that will watch the recording. Today's topic is examining the cancellation of the Pan-African event by the Ghanaian Authority. So this week we had an event that should have been held in Ghana, I believe on the 7th, if I may be right, but the event got canceled. So we are here to examine why it was canceled. Now, today, what I'm going to discuss here is not about the organizer of the program. It's not about the authority of Ghana that or who canceled the program. What I'm about to discuss, however, is about African interest. It's about Pan-Africanist. It's not about the individual. Where he went wrong, I will say it. Where he went right, I will say it. Where the Ghanaian authority went right, I will say it. Where they went wrong, I will say it. On this show, we are strictly a Pan-African base and Pan-African ideology. So if we see anyone going against our ideology, our policy, we are here to talk about that person and bring the person out to book. Henceforth, we are going to examine why the event was canceled and also discuss other things that are being put in between to make things look the way it's not supposed to be. Having said that, let's get to the first part. And the first part here is, who is this guy? Who was the man? Because now his face have been revealed, right? Now we're also going to discuss why his face was covered, why he did not reveal his face until after the program was canceled. Why his face was covered during the whole time. All right, we're going to discuss that as well. Like I said, the topic today is examining the cancellation of the event. Because a lot of people too have been wondering why this man's face was covered. And because he covered his face, people thought he was an opposition. So we're going to see today. I don't want to jump ahead of time. So let's look at the first article. Who is this guy? Now, by the way, the first article that I'm bringing it out, right? It was never written by him. And there's a reason why I brought an article that was never written by him. It was written by someone else, I believe, to be supporter of the government. And that's why I brought it. Because sometimes, in order to make people to understand, you have to go in for the hard topic, to digest it, to make people to understand. And that's why I went for it. So let's see the first article. And then we're going to see the first article. Who is this guy, right? And then before coming to even the program. So let me bring it out. So, in order to understand the background of the program, who is this guy? Like, who was behind this program, right? So, first of all, we want to know who is this guy that was behind the program? What motivated him? What was the motivation behind his movement? All right. So, now, why did he hide his face? Why was he hiding his identity, even his name? Because they did not even know his name, his real name. Okay? So, okay, let's go ahead. I don't want to jump ahead of time. So, the topic of this article, it says, who is Nana Kwame Bediako, also known as Chedat or Freedom Jacob Caesar? Now, the name that he was known by, all right, the name that he was known by was the name he gave to himself, not his birth name, the name he gave to himself. Freedom Jacob Caesar. He did not use the name Nana Kwame Bediako, but he used the name Freedom Jacob Caesar. Now, the reason why I'm emphasizing on the name is for a reason. It's for a reason I am emphasizing on the name. Now, let me get a reason. The reason I'm emphasizing on the name is because, one, that was the first reason I believe they gave him the venue to go on with the program. Because I believe in the minds of the authority, there is nobody named, that is not a Ghanaian name, Freedom Jacob Caesar. That is not a Ghanaian name that will hurt the political ambition of Ghana, that it is not a Ghanaian name, okay, who will want to become the president or whatsoever, or who will have political ambition. All they thought this man was a businessman based on his name. All right, that is not a Ghanaian name. So they felt this man, he's an European. All right, just how they gave European a platform, Western the platform to go in those African nations and they do whatsoever they want to do. All right. So, this man, being an investor, being a businessman, all right, when he was getting into the New African Foundation, he knew what he was getting in. So he had to have his identity. Of course, you know what happened in Africa, especially when you are an influential man. And not just that. If you are taking the side of the youth and they know the youth will follow you, what happened? The government in power will silence you. Now, this is not just only Ghana, it's to all African nations. As long you are an opposition, and being an opposition, you do not have Western support. Meanwhile, the government in power have the support or the backing of their slave master. Now, you be an opposition, you are left on your own. The only support you get is from the youth, the common people, and which of course is the best. It's the best to get the support from your own people than to get the support from your oppressor, because there will be nothing good that will come from your leadership or your government if the support of the people is not with you. Now, this man, being a smart man, he changed his name to Jacob Caesar, or else even his businesses, his property, okay, his real estate, it will be in jeopardy and the government will go after it. This is not just only Ghana, this is to all African nations. That's how they operate. They do not give chances to people with different ideology. The African nation have a one ideology, one mindset, and that one mindset should be the hierarchy. Now let's keep reading. So that's one reason this man did not show his identity. Let's continue. Now Kwame Bediako, popularly known as Freedom Jacob Caesar. Now listen, popularly known as Freedom Jacob Caesar or Chadia, is a Ghanaian businessman. He is the founder and chairman of Quaslet Group, focused on real estate, finance, and property management. Listen to this again. Real estate, finance, and property management. This man is a threat to any African leader. I mean, not to any, but to the corrupt African leader. This man is a threat to the puppet African leader. This man is a threat to the bourgeoisie African leader. This man is a threat to the neo-colonialist African leader. First of all, being a real estate, being a finance, how they call it, expert in finance, right? Being an expert in property management. What do you think this man would do? This young man, he's not carrying Bible to the youth. He's not carrying word of God to the youth. He's not a missionary to the youth. He's not carrying Christianity to the youth. So this man is a threat to the puppet government. Because what this man will do is, he's going to educate the youth on what? Finances. He's going to tell them what needs to be done on the African continent. He's going to tell them about their resources. Because he knows about money management. He knows how to manage your resources. He's going to educate the youth. Instead of the youth waiting for Sunday to go to church, no. Instead of the youth going to Bible ministry, no, he's going to tell them no. Instead of the youth going to theological school, no, he's going to tell them no. So this man was a threat. Pay attention as we go along. Let's continue. Ben Diakwe is the developer of Wonder World Estate and the proposed Petronius seated in Takrade in the Western region. He is also the founder of New Africa Foundation. Now, we're going to explain that a little bit. He is also the founder of New Africa Foundation. Now, pay attention. It did not say he is the founder of New Ghana. Pay attention here. The cancellation of this event, it is beyond what you think. It is beyond what you think. This was not only the decision of Ghana. I repeat, this was not only the decision of Ghana, but we're going to go into a little bit about New Africa. He is the founder of New Africa Foundation, a group focusing on less fortunate children. This is not only Ghana now. This is going beyond Ghana. That's why I say New Africa. Focusing on less fortunate children. Now, there have been many European organizations, so-called organizations. There have been many Western so-called organizations who have been proliferating on the African continent with the premise of giving aid or support to less fortunate children on the African continent. Why the question? Why have some of these African leaders, or what have the Ghanaian authority never stopped them? Some of them have even committed atrocity in their so-called giving back to Africa, and nothing was done. They never stopped them from going to Africa. They still go. They still gave them events. They still gave them place, venue. Sorry, they still gave them venue to do what they want to do. Ah, man. Let's continue. Now, I'm going to read that again. He is also the founder of New Africa Foundation. What is that New Africa versus the Old Africa? What is the Old Africa and what is the New Africa? The New Africa is where you are going to educate the youth, the youngest growing population or populated continent in the world, the African continent, with the vast majority of resources in the world, but become the most unemployed continent in the world. Pay attention. The New Africa Foundation. The New Africa Foundation is to educate Africans that your resources that is being given to you is for you. You own it. There's a reason you are born in Africa. There's a reason you are called Africans. And there's a reason you are not called European or Westerners. And those resources in Africa, being for Africans, you must enjoy it. So the New African Foundation is to tell Africans, if if the white Jesus is to come today, let's be clear here. The New African Foundation is to educate the youth, the African youth. If white Jesus is to come today, the same way in which the disciples of white Jesus are on planet Earth and treating you, that's how you will not go to heaven. Because the disciple of the white Jesus on planet Earth here will make you not to go to heaven. The only heaven you will go to is the heaven of the black Jesus. The New Africa Foundation is to educate the African youth. Don't get it twisted. Only the poor can go to heaven. But the man to who is preaching or who is preaching to you is not poor. If you go to church on 4 or 5 occasions, put this to an experiment. You are not putting tax. You are not putting offering, your tithe. You are not putting your tithe. You are not putting offering, nothing. That pastor will not need you in that church. You will never even be recognized. If you are going to the so-called church or churches, pay attention. And you putting more money in our offering, you putting more tithe in our offering, you will be more respected in our church than the person who is not putting tithe or offering or who don't have it. Maybe the only way they will pay attention to you if you are going in our church and cleaning up. Because they are keeping you in a church for a purpose, because you are there to clean up, to clean the dust, to cut the grass. But if you are not cleaning up, you are not cutting grass, and you are not putting offering, you are not putting tithe, they will not want you in our church because you are occupying space for people who have money. Not only that, the New African Foundation is to educate Africans. What is wrong with you? The man who is preaching to you that only the poor inherit the heaven, or only the meek or whatsoever can go to heaven. But go to that man's house. He is rich. He have so many guys. His children go to the best schools from your money that you hustle for. The New African Foundation is to educate Africans that their resources on the African continent should not go to Europe and America. It should be manufactured into finished product in Africa. Factory should be in Africa. The New African Foundation is to educate Africans about their corrupt leader. Let's continue here. He wants to be president. Now, this writer, the person who wrote this, as I was doing my research, I never saw anywhere. Maybe it's there. That's why he's putting this in here. But I never saw anywhere where the organizer of the program said he wants to be president of Ghana. But okay, let's see this. If he wants to be president of Ghana, that is a dream. Everybody have a dream. So if he wants to be president of Ghana, does that give the right, or is that in any way a threat to the Ghanaian authority to cancel a program for the benefit of the youth, for the benefit of Africa? Is that a reason if he wants to become a president? That is a dream. So you kill a mere dream if that's the reason why the program was canceled. You kill a mere dream. You kill a youth dream only because he have a dream to become president of Ghana. He wants to be president of Ghana and has formed a political movement called the New Force. First of all, let me make this clear. The New Force, it is not a political party. The New Force was not registered as a political party. Now, again, even if it was registered as a political party, if Nana Akufo-Addo canceled his program or this program because he had a political party, or he registered a political party called the New Force, and you cancel his program, is that a democracy? Is that giving space for people to exercise their political right? Is that democracy? Because even his slave master country, America or Europe, even in America here, they have so many political parties. But the two dominant ones are the Democrat and the Republican. But they are all political parties. And his slave master still allow those political parties to carry on their constitutional rights. So if you cancel a program because someone have a vision of becoming a president, or someone went and founded a political party because they don't want to become part of your political party, and you stop his movement, you stop his program, what is the constitutional right of Ghana? Now let's fall back. If indeed he cancel, if indeed the Ghanaian authority cancel this program because this man had a dream of becoming president, because this man founded a political party called the New Force, then what will he say about Kwame Nkrumah? Let's go back to history now. Because once upon a time, Kwame Nkrumah had a dream of becoming president of Ghana. And not just becoming president of Ghana, but to liberate Ghana. So this is the new foundation Africa. This is a new Africa. There's no African nation that is free from colonial influence. There is no African nation that is free from colonial oppression. So we are not yet independent. So yes, Kwame Nkrumah had a dream of becoming president to liberate Ghana and to liberate the entire Africa. Then what happened? Due to his dream, he was put in jail. And after he was with the UGCC, the United Goku Convention. He was put in jail. And then when he was in jail, people like Dr. J.B. Dankwa, they had the movement together. And they were all youth. Nana Akufo-Addo, they were all youth. So the freedom you have today was a youth that laid down that freedom, was a youth who had a dream of becoming president, was a youth who had a dream of freeing Ghana or liberating Ghana. So if we have another youth who feel that Ghana should be at another stage in life, why not give it a chance? Because someone gave it a chance to become president. Kwame Nkrumah gave it a chance. So when Kwame Nkrumah, as a youth, was put in jail, Dr. David Dankwa then hold a group together. And at that time, before he went to jail, the motto of the UGCC was what? Self-government within the shortest possible time. And after the UGCC betrayed him, when he came from jail, that's the time they funded the CPP, the Convention People's Party, June 1949. And it was that Convention People's Party, a new party that was funded in 1949, led Ghana to independence on March 6, 1957. So Nana Akufo-Addo, do you understand your history? It was a man who funded a new political party, a new political movement. And it was that movement that led Ghana to independence. Today you are enjoying our freedom, a youth. Let's continue here. It is on the ticket of this political movement that he intended to contest the 2024 presidential election. Now again, bear in mind here, like I said, I took this article because someone else wrote this article, okay, I believe to be supporter of the government, all right? Or he may not be supporter, but he is putting your own thing here. Now, he said, it is on this ticket because he showed, I believe he did his research and he had the evidence. But again, he did not he did not put source of his statement or where he got that statement from. There's no source to leading to his statement that what I'm saying here, you can go to this video, you can go to this article, you can go to this link and see the interview. There's no link. So this is not factual. This is not factual. Now, again, it might be he have insights of the government that the government cancel it because this man want to run for presidency in 2024. But again, should that be a threat to the government to cancel a program because a man have a dream of becoming president? Did Nana Akufo-Addo never had a dream? He had a dream. Who killed that dream? Nobody killed the dream, and he became president. So why would you want to kill another person's dream because he want to be president? So it could be the writer of this article have connection to the government. But again, the statement of the government, which we're going to see, the statement of the government did not say this man wanted to become president. That's why they cancel it. That's why they cancel it. But in a statement by the government, they say they cancel the program for an unforeseen. For an unforeseen. Could that unforeseen reason be that this man was actually a Ghanaian that they got to find out his name later? That if they allow this guy to gain the attention of the Ghanaian youth, he will actually become the next president. And then the old Africa will go away and the new Africa will rise. Pay attention, folks. The new Africa have risen in places like Burkina Faso, in places like Mali, in places like Niger. That's the new Africa. And Ghana is still the old Africa. Nigeria is still the old Africa. Liberia is still the old Africa. We just elected a 90-year-old man through propaganda, supported by Western influence and Western finances. The old Africa is still within the West African region. Now, this program that should have gone on in Ghana, I can tell you, that was the rebirth of the 1963 OAU. That was the rebirth. Because in our generation, if we think these African leaders will come together in one understanding to make Africa one, a united Africa. Let me say this today with my face on camera. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. These African leaders, just like in 1963, when these African head of state went together and they failed to unite the African continent. This is my face on camera here. In 2024, it will never happen. The only way it's going to happen is for the youth, ordinary Africans, to come together and take the lead. And this is our chance. This is one of the meetings that should have happened in Ghana. So Nana Akufo-Addo did not act alone. Let us look beyond these things. Nana Akufo-Addo never acted alone. That's what it said. Unforeseen reason. What is that unforeseen reason that made you to cancel the program? According to the response of the Ghanaian authority, they canceled the program for an unforeseen reason. So you love to give the outsider a chance to go on the African continent to do anything they want. But when you see an African brothers and sister, a black man who want to change the narrative, then he become a threat. That is neo-colonialism right there. That is why Nana Akufo-Addo is not a Pan-Africanist. As I heard from my brother, a renowned channel that we respect, describing Nana Akufo-Addo as a Pan-Africanist. Is that how a Pan-Africanist behave? Let's continue here. I just wanted to give a background of this man. So let's go down a little bit here. Now, who is this man? This man has been engaged in a series of media interviews since January 8, 2024 on his political move and talking about why he wants to be president. Now, like I said, the show that I watched, the interview that I saw, this man was basically, all his statement, basically focusing on the youth, changing their mind, giving opportunity to the youth. And that's the new Africa. Now, it says, the new force prior to January 7, 2024 has been advertising itself with a series of billboards in town with a masked man on it. There were a number of videos and artwork on the internet as well. Now, this was the reason he did not get his real name up there and he started using masks. Because he knew the direction he have taken in Africa, his life was in danger. So he had to hide his identity. You think to educate the youth in Africa is a race. To educate the youth in Africa about politics, about finances, about resources is a race. That you have to hide your identity. If you're educating the youth about theological school, it's not a race. In fact, they will give you more funding. The government will even help you to give you funding. And so-called outside organization will also give you funding because it is in their interest to put the focus of African youth into the Bible. Do not educate them about engineering, about technology. Okay? Do not educate them about manufacturing. Do not educate them about production. If you do that, it's a threat. Why do you think there is no African nation that are investing in agriculture? Because they know it's a threat. They know any African leaders who want to invest in agriculture, it is against the colonial policy. It is against the Western policy. And most of these African leaders are neo-colonial puppets. So they understand if they get into agriculture, sooner or later, they will become a threat. They will start calling them terrorists by their colonial master because you want to feed yourself. You feel now you have grown. So it is in the same way, if you want to educate Africa in this manner, you have to hide your identity. So that's why his identity, he was heading, he had marks on, and he changed his name to Jacob Freedom, Jacob Caesar. Because in Africa, when you hear a white man name, they gave you everything. They gave you access. Now, let's read something here, and I'll take this out because I just want you to see who this man is before we get into the story. Now, the writer said, Daniel were scared to become new force spokesperson. Now, why the Ghanaian was scared? Because it is Africa. Again, you understand it. Again, it is Africa. If you want to become voice of the voiceless, you are a threat to the seated president, especially if that seated president is being supported by his or her colonial master. You become a threat. So he went around looking for a spokesperson, and Ghanaians were afraid to become a spokesperson because you, not just you, but your family will be in jeopardy. Now you understand why this man have masks on. Now you understand why this man here, his identity, his name, he changed his name to Freedom Jacob Caesar. Now you understand. The whole internet is shaking, bashing him, but not even understanding why the man did such a thing. But people bashing him, oh, he changed his identity, he wearing masks, he wearing this, he had political ambition. Is it a crime to have a political ambition? Is it a crime? Is it a crime now, like when you have political ambition, that your program should be canceled? Is it a crime? So now you understand. Because even Ghanaians were scared to become a spokesperson. They're afraid because they and their family life will be in jeopardy. He will be putting his family life in jeopardy, whosoever. So no one wanted to become a spokesperson. Henceforth, what did he do? He chose a Belgian. And who was that Belgian? Charlemagne Abissi, a Belgian citizen, a New Force spokesperson. Now, what the Ghanaian authority did, you know, just how the colonial master work, that's how the neo-colonial work. Now, listen to this. The Belgian woman, the Belgian woman, New Force spokesperson, arrested and charged for falsifying document for Ghanaian resident permit. New Force spokesperson Charlemagne Abissi granted Ghana 20,000 bail. The New Force spokesperson re-arrested. Now, I cannot say she falsified document or she did not falsify document because there have been no court precedent. There have been no court judgment to prove that the document was falsified. Now, I can't say it was falsified or it was not falsified. I'm just speaking the obvious here. This man is a businessman. He should be so stupid to go give his spokesperson a falsified document. So, I will take this. I don't want to stick long here. All right. So, at least you have seen the background of this man, right? But when you read the article, when you do the research more, this man, he went to school in the UK, okay? He was selling for somebody. That's how he got his money. He was selling for someone clothes. He was selling clothes. And from that clothes, he got money from there. And then he invested in scrap metal. All right? And then he founded his own company in scrap metal. And then he sold that company, I believe, for 410 million, euro, right? He sold it to another person. And then he used that money and moved to Ghana. All right. And then he invested in property, a lot of property. Okay. He built a lot of estates. All right. And then he have a foundation making impacts on African youth, African life, Ghanaian life. All right. The Ghanaian did not stop the program. But according to the article here, because he have political ambition, that's why you should stop somebody. Because somebody have political ambition to become president for Ghana, then you kill the person's dream. Do you see the old Africa? And that's one of the reasons the men want to change the old Africa to new Africa. Let's see further. All right. Let's see further. We will get to where I want to get, right? Where everyone want to get. We will get there. But let's see further. Now, let's see another interview of this man where his focus lies. Where his focus lies. Let's see another interview. Because what we see here, we just say, oh, the Ghanaian authority canceled this. This thing was beyond. It was not just the Ghanaian authority. These things was beyond. That's why the Ghanaian authority said for unforeseen circumstances. Unforeseen circumstances. This thing was going to spark a movement in West Africa. It was going to spark a movement, just how a movement has been sparked in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, in Chad. It was going to spark a movement. Look beyond. That's why the authority of Ghana said unforeseen circumstances made them to cancel the program. And people are not looking at it, but on the internet, low-minded people are saying, oh, he had political ambition, or he did not tell the authority that he had political ambition, he funded his own political party, and so what? He funded his own political party, so what? The political party Nana Akufo-Addo ran on to become president. Who funded that political party? Someone funded it. Or if he did not want to run on a ticket on a party, he could have funded his own party. No one could have stopped him. So that is not a reason to even talk about he had a political ambition. That is a mere argument. It's not even an argument. It's not even an argument to justify the reason for which this program was canceled. Because he had political ambition. Because he funded his own political party. Is that a reason to cancel this program? No. The Ghanaian authority said unforeseen circumstances. This was not only the Ghanaian authority. This was also the economic communities of West Africa, along with their colonial master. Let's continue here.
Africa is home to many of the world's longest ruling heads of state. Some post-colonial leaders in the 1960s and 1970s sought to become president for life, with severe managing to remain in power for 3 or more years. So by the turn of the 21st century, this trench of entrenched leadership had spread across the region, spurring corruption, instability, societal fractures, and economic stagnation. I mean, that's the story of Africa. The trend has been thwarted in some countries, and in some part due to sustained pressure by civil society groups, regional blocs. But a global rise in authoritarianism threatens to undo recent progress. So currently, most African leaders are 55 years or older, and some as old as 75 or more. This represents a significant gap between policymakers and citizens. Africa is believed to have the most youthful population, and yet the youths of the African continent are usually not carried along in governance. The question is, how can the potentials of the youths be harnessed to make the continent successful? So joining us now on the show is Nana Kwame Bediako, a visionary industrialist and founder of New Africa Foundation. Great to have you, Nana. Let's talk about how young people in the continent can leapfrog, Africa into that path of development, which is what we need. We want to reinvent Africa because Mama Africa is blessed.
Thank you very much. I think first of all, what we need to do is to get ready.
So, I pause the video. Before we continue, right? This is the founder of the New Africa Foundation. This is the man behind the marks. But at that time, he was not wearing mask at the time of this interview. He was revealed, right? He revealed himself. Because at that time, right, I believe he had not yet founded the New Africa Foundation. Okay, he was just going with his business model and talking on real platform, right? Okay, so pay attention now. He revealed himself here. This interview was done back. He revealed himself here, right? There's not a recent interview. So this man have been pushing way back about New Africa. He have been pushing way back about giving African youth the chance. He have been pushing way back about the resources on the African continent should be used by Africans. Way back. All right? Watch.
Rate of the biggest disease in Africa, which is fear. The youth are growing up with fear. Okay, people are having education and spending 21 years of their life only to realize after that there are no jobs, there are no vacancies. And this fear is eradicating their hope. I think hope is a very strong thing that Africans need. The youth are not underlined or probably being undermined with their own capacity based on the ability that they have. Now, Africans don't have any sort of platforms like industrialization. Our economy is based on foreign influence, and that is robbing the future.
Okay, pay attention now. Like I said, this thing is beyond what people think, all the Ghanaian authority. And then, if you watch a lot of platforms, people who think low are blaming him, or he want to become president. And then on a platform that I watch, like I said, a platform that I respect so dearly, on our platform, they began to talk about him that, he see himself as Nkrumah. And so what? That's the best thing a man can do, to see himself as Nkrumah. That's the best thing African can do. Let me be specific. That's the best thing African can do, to see himself as Nkrumah, to see himself as Dr. King, to see himself as Malcolm X, to see himself as Nelson Mandela, to see himself as Patrick Lumumba, to see himself as Thomas Sankara, as Steve Biko. It baffles me so much that it is another African brother that will go against another African because he see himself as Nkrumah, or he see himself as Thomas Sankara. But if an African man is quoting from Julius Caesar, another African will be happy. If African man is quoting himself as Thomas Jefferson, according to Thomas Jefferson, we should this, according to all these colonizers, African would never get angry. But the moment you start quoting from Nkrumah or Mandela or Patrick Lumumba or Thomas Sankara, and no African will come to bash you and say, he think he's Nkrumah, he thinks he's Thomas Sankara. Yes, that's the best thing that can ever happen. In fact, if we want to imitate anybody, we should imitate those true African liberators.
Of our children. Now that we have the biggest population, the youthful population in Africa, this is a source of labor force, and Africans need to take advantage of this moment. I could see the future. It's a vision that I could see ahead of me, that Africa can be changed if we build these platforms and make sure these platforms take away the fear of our own youth so they can grow up to see.
But how do we do it? If I were to
Never leave your wife in bed without reaching the final moments again. This is capable of making your member hard and
teleport you in time. I am sure that Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah was just saying this in 63 when OAU started. But since then till now, nothing has been done. Concrete steps. How can we do this?
Well, Osagyefo was saying this in his youthful days. That's what we keep forgetting. Okay? The mind works better, smarter, and more active between your 20s and your 45. By the time you're 50, you're heading towards your accrements, what you have done in life. And that's what the machine is. You want to talk about your past, your future. It's no more talked about. Your past is what you talk about. Now, all of a sudden, African leaders have become 70 years old and 80 years old. Okay, I don't have a problem with old people. I think they're very wise to advise. But I don't expect people who have outlived their future to build our future. Africans need to give the youth the chance to build the future. The likes of Bill Gates, the likes of Zuckerberg, all of these people started their projects in their 30s and in their 40s, and we need to force to push our people there. We need African products to be in the Western world, just like how our music is taking over the world now. That's how our leaders should act. That's how we should let the youth go through. I think that we're being restricted, and I like the fact that you asked this question about the youth, because this is giving me the right platform to speak for the youth. Africans are restricting the youth to go past their potential. We need to give our youth that chance, and we need to build the platforms to support them.
All right. All right, sorry, folks. Okay, so I took that out, right? Because the video is long, but because if I play the whole video, it's going to take a long time. But I want you to see as we, keep diving into it, right? I don't want to be biased here, all right? I want you to understand, because there are a whole lot of video out there already bashing this man. But see the view of this man, okay? That's why I said we are examining what it was canceled. Now, see what he said. This is New Africa. Look at the generation. Look at the most youthful populated continent in the world, the African continent. But how they call it, the number one unemployed continent, Africa. The number one resourceful African, how they call it, not African, but the number one resourceful continent in the world is the African continent. Because not just resources. We're talking about the human capacity. So, if you act everything out, Africa is the number one resourceful continent in the world. Then how come it is the poorest continent in the world? And that's what he said. We have to give the youth the chance. You cannot expect 80 years old men, 70 years old men, 90 years old men to draft the agenda of this youth. When in their youth days, they did not draft any agenda to preach. So do you expect them in their 90s to become president, to draft, to preach? Are you paying attention in West Africa there? This so-called equal nation, the election now taking place now in Africa, they are putting all folks in it, being backed by Western influence, because they know if you put a youth in power right now in any African nation, that youth is not going to listen to us, our nation, or to listen to America or to Europe. Only the old folks were listening. So this man is a threat to the whole Africa. He is a threat to the whole Africa because to them, He's speaking against the old Africa. And he's speaking for the new Africa. So he is a threat. So that's why they say for unforeseen circumstances, they cancel it. Now, what does this mean? They cancel it because they are against change. This program was canceled because these African leaders are against change. Let's continue. They are against change. The leader of Niger are standing alone today in the West African region because they are for change, and the West African region or ECOWAS are against change. That's why these leaders are alone. The leader of Burkina Faso is alone because the ECOWAS leaders are against change. The leader of Mali are alone because the West African leaders, ECOWAS, are against change. AU is against change. So this program was canceled because people are against change. That is why it was an unforeseen. They did not believe it was going to turn out like this. They did not believe. All they thought, oh, this guy, he's a youth. He does not have the authority to bring the entire Africa together. That's what they believe. Because even a head of state cannot bring Africa together. They cannot unite Africa. Those 55 head of state cannot unite Africa. So in their mind, how can this 30 years old or this youth unite Africa? How can he pull out the African continent? People coming from different places, different part of Africa to come to Ghana. How did he do that? An unforeseen reason. Pay attention here. They never believe it. They say, oh, he's just one man. They were surprised. How did this man pull out Dr. Afrikan, a powerhouse? How did he pull out Pierre Lumumba, another powerhouse? How did he pull out Julia Malema? Come on now. How did he pull out Peter Obi? Come on now. Do you know the spirit that was going to be in that area at that convention center? Do you know the spirit that was going to be at that convention center? Do you know the spirit? Do you know the energy that was going to be over there? The energy, the spirit that was going to be in that area. Do you know how it was going to be like? Do you know how it was going to be like? The energy. Do you know what it takes to have Julia Malema in a same house with Dr. Afrikan in a same house with Pierre Lumumba? Do you know what it means? Right there. That was the rebirth of the 1963 Organization of African Unity. To have those men and women in one area, on one platform, speaking with one voice, speaking with one ideology. That was the rebirth. And the youth was going to follow. It was going to spark a movement. Don't take that cancellation to be for any kind of reason to say, oh, the organizer of the program had a political ambition. They said, no, don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. That's a weak argument. This was going to spark a movement. It was going to spark a change. The ancestral were going to be happy. That square, that independence square was going to be filled of energy I mean, different spirit of movement, transformation. To have those people in one building, in one area, speaking with one voice, speaking to the youth. These are people who we just see mostly on TV or on platform, on various platform. But now we see these people vividly. The energy of Julia Malema, the energy of Dr. Afrikan, the energy of Pierre Lumumba, the energy of Peter Obi in one place. Do you know the four? Do you know that energy? And unforeseen circumstances. That's why they canceled the program. Let's continue. So before we continue, I want to play a video. Because there was a platform that I watched, and according to them, when the event happened first, they thought the event planner or the guy who was behind the program was actually for Africa. But later on, they found out that he was not for Africa. Later on, according to them, they were at first, they was blaming the Ghanaian president. But later, after they did some research, I don't know what kind of research they did. I don't know how they came out with their analysis. But according to them, after their analysis of some research, they found out that Nana Akufo-Addo was a Pan-Africanist. And as a Pan-Africanist, you cannot go against a Pan-Africanist idea, which is true. But the question here is, Nana Akufo-Addo, is he a Pan-Africanist? That's the question now. It is true, as a Pan-Africanist, you cannot go against a Pan-Africanist ideology. Perfect. But the question is Nana Akufo-Addo a Pan-Africanist? And my answer, Nana Akufo-Addo is not a Pan-Africanist. Nana Akufo-Addo is a puppet. It's a Western puppet. He is not a Pan-Africanist. Because what Nana Akufo-Addo does, a Pan-Africanist cannot do it. Just because you pretend to be a Pan-Africanist, you are not a Pan-Africanist. That does not make you a Pan-Africanist. Just because you pretend to speak the language of a Pan-Africanist, that does not make you a Pan-Africanist. You are a pretender. You are someone who will use part of all who think you are part of all, but you are being used to infiltrate the system. And Nana Akufo-Addo, many times he has been used to infiltrate the system, but I think as a Pan-Africanist, trying to speak as a Pan-Africanist, trying to speak as a Pan-Africanist does not make you a Pan-Africanist. Behaving like a Pan-Africanist, you are not a Pan-Africanist. Dancing like Pan-Africanist, you are not a Pan-Africanist. So to say Nana Akufo-Addo is a Pan-Africanist and he cannot betray a Pan-Africanist idea or movement, that's a red flag. Nana Akufo-Addo is a Pan-Africanist, and many times he has tried to betray the Pan-African ideology. Wasn't Nana Akufo-Addo in support of carrying Western war on Niger? A Pan-Africanist will never support that. Dr. Afrikan, being a Pan-African, never supported that idea to win war on Niger. For another African nation to go for Niger. For another African nation to go for Mali. For another African nation to go for Burkina Faso. Dr. Afrikan, being a Pan-Africanist, did not support that. Pierre Lumumba, being a Pan-Africanist, did not support that. Julia Malema, being a Pan-Africanist, did not support that. Then how can you say, as a Pan-Africanist, like Nana Akufo-Addo, he is not a Pan-Africanist? Because he went against the freedom and liberation of Africa. As a Pan-Africanist, you do not go against the freedom, the liberation, the self-determination of Africans. And Nana Akufo-Addo did. As a Pan-Africanist, you do not sell. You do not become a sellout. Nana Akufo-Addo did.
Has now entered into an arrangement. Today, Russian mercenaries are on our northern border. Burkina Faso has now entered into an arrangement to go along with Mali in employing the Wagner forces there. I believe a mine in southern Burkina has been allocated to them as a form of payment for their services.
This video, the Ghanaian president Nana Akufo-Addo was caught live on camera selling out other African leaders for money. So I want you to watch the full video and I'll come back to explain. Watch the video to the end, guys. Share, like, and comment.
Greatly appreciate the peacekeeping contributions that Ghana makes, but also just more broadly, your own leadership for peace, for security, for democracy. Many challenges, but we're grateful to actually be facing them together, and really pleased to have you here this week for the summit. So thank you, Mr. President. Appreciate the time.
So, Mr. Secretary, thank you very much. We'll just thank the American government for the invitation to participate in this summit. I think it's a summit that's been long overdue. I believe it's the second. The last time was, what, over 10 years ago. Today, Russian mercenaries are on our northern border. Burkina Faso has now entered into an arrangement to go along with Mali in employing the Wagner forces there. I believe a mine in southern Burkina has been allocated to them as a form of payment for their services. Prime Minister of Burkina Faso in the last 10 days has been in Moscow. And to have them operating on our northern border is particularly distressing for us in Ghana. Apart from not accepting the idea of great powers once again making Africa their theater of operation, we have a particular position that you know about over the Ukraine war, where we have been very, very vocal and upfront about condemning the invasion of Russia by Russia. And therefore, then now to have this group at our borders is a matter of some considerable disquiet and concern for us. We really like to have a privileged opportunity to talk about its implications and what we believe ought to be the case. This is what took place with the discussion in the Congress yesterday, which I found very fruitful. And I would like the themes of that discussion should be the themes that we should continue to address. To what extent we can have you as a partner in confronting these threats.
What the hell is going on in Africa? Like, seriously, you have leaders in Africa that are only serving their own interest. And this is a president of Ghana, and his neighbors are Burkina Faso. He has boundary with Cote d'Ivoire. And this guy is sitting on the sideline of the African-US summit, which he called for, and he's sitting across the table. In fact, if you look at the introduction, he said, Mr. Secretary. And the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, said, Mr. President. So you look at the kind of relationship we have with these people. And whenever our African leaders go out, they don't have the gravitas. You don't see any real quality in them in terms of charisma. Somebody is sitting down across the table and reporting to his slave masters and begging them that his brothers are actually, bringing Wagner forces for their own security and safety. And he said nothing about the French problems in the Sahel. This Ghanaian president said nothing about the French activity in the Sahel. He said nothing about the American military base in Agadez and the American military base, by the way, in Ghana. that are bringing in these weapons and bringing in these drugs and have proliferated the region with small arms and light ammunitions. And then he sits down on the table, acting like he's talking to Jesus Christ, reporting. Oh my God, this is just childish. You know, this kind of playground stuff that you do in primary school, and you snitch on your other friend because you want the teacher to like you. This Ghanaian president lacked any form of charisma or gravitas. He's sitting down there like a kid and reporting to his colonial masters on what he wants them to help him do. And yet we talk about African unity. Yet AU is dead. ECOWAS is no longer working. These organizations are tools used by the West to keep Africans divided. This is shocking. Like, these guys are trying to solve the problems on their own territory, and you are right there from a very wealthy family where most Ghanaians cannot afford a 3-square meal. You are there discussing and talking about democracy in a country where you have so many people living below the poverty line. Even across the border in Nigeria is the same thing. So, and people are surprised why Tinubu wanted to invade Niger to hand it over back to France so that France can keep it as a slave colony. We don't have freedom in Africa. There is no freedom. And these leaders must go. People call it military coup. It's a revolution. If it comes from the people, like what happened in Niger, it is acceptable. But the military coup that happened in Gabon, the French did not say anything about it. The Americans did not say anything about it. And the Ghanaian president have the guts, he has the balls to sit across the table, which is not so equal, because that is the Secretary of State of the United States of America. And you are the head of state, sitting down like a kid and reporting to the Secretary of State of America that the other kid stole your pen. I mean, you guys can agree with me or disagree with me. Whatever you think, just write.
All right. So we have already given the definition of a Pan-Africanist versus a non-Pan-Africanist. So I'm not going to explain that long time. So that is Nana Akufo-Addo sitting right there. His idea was never supported by Dr. Afrikan. Dr. Afrikan supported the idea of Burkina Faso. Julian Malema supported the idea of Burkina Faso. Pete Lumumba supported the idea of Burkina Faso because those are Pan-Africanists. Nana Akufo-Addo is a sellout. He is not a Pan-Africanist. So let's get that clear. Now, let's continue to the topic. So the issue that was canceled, that program that was canceled, it was beyond what you think. Beyond what you think. These leaders, they don't want change. They want change. They want Africa to remain the way it is. They do not want change. They don't care about the people. They said they don't care about the youth. They don't care about the unemployed. They don't care about their citizens. All they care is for America and Europe to go and get their resources. This was Nana Akufo-Addo along with Tinubu and his counterpart that supported America idea, Europe idea, France idea to go and kill their brothers and sisters on the African continent, to go and kill them in Niger, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, and you call them a Pan-Africanist, you call him a Pan-Africanist? No Pan-Africanist will support the killing of another Africans. Let's continue here. So the cancellation of the program, let me tell you this. The cancellation of the program, it was not because this man had political ambition. Because that is a weak argument. That is a weak argument. It is not because this man had a political party, founded a political party called New Force. That's a weak argument. If it was for that reason, it was going to be stated by the Ghanaian authority that we cancel it because this man had a political ambition, this man had a political party. So even if he had a political party, He registered it, right? Then if that's the case, if it was canceled for that, this man had the right to go and sue the Ghanaian authority, because if indeed he had a political party, that means the Ghanaian constitution or the Ghanaian court system gave him the right to register a party called the New Front or the New Force. Then it was registered. If it was registered, then the Ghanaian authority had no right to cancel his program. The Ghanaian authority had no right to cancel his program as long as his program was not a terrorist organization. Let's see here. Let's see the video. Let's see the reason or the premise. Like I said, I already laid the premise down, right? Now, let's see what they say. What the Ghanaian authorities say. Like I said, this is WCC. We not come here for opinion. We lay on both sides and lay the coins, and now you flip the coins and see which side is saying the truth or is making sense. All right, so let's see what the Ghanaian authorities say. Okay? Because they are yet to tell the Africans why the program was canceled. That unforeseen circumstances, they need to explain it. They need to make it clear. Unforeseen.
Made possible by Mizizi International, the official shop.com for more information. Now, Pan-Africanist voices such as Professor PLO Lumumba of Kenya, EFF leader Julius Selo Malemo of South Africa, former Nigerian presidential candidate Peter Obi, and former permanent representative of the African Union to
now, as you look on the screen there, right? Look at these 4 people. Do you know what it takes to have these 4 people in the same area? This was the rebirth of the 1963. Because these 4 people who have sparked a new face of Africa, and they will. I'm sorry to even use the word could have. I take that word back, could have. I take it back. These 4 people will spark a new movement on the African continent, especially in West Africa. These 4 people, along with other revolutionaries, along with other Pan-Africanists to come. So I take the language back, could have. I take it back. That's a bad English, could have. As a revolutionary, as a Pan-African, you don't even use our word could have. These 4 people will spark a movement on the African continent. Because the unification of Africa is not going to come from those African leaders. Because if we say we are waiting for those African leaders, we always going to have 2 groups, the Morovia group and the Casablanca group. And it is the Morovia group again. I'm sorry that during the days of the 1963, during the days of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana was on the side of the Casablanca group. But today, it is unfortunate that Nkrumah in his grave is rolling around that today, Ghana is on the side of the Morovia group, supporting a slave master. Because the Morovia group, they were slaves. The Morovia group were slaves. So today, Nkrumah is rolling his grave to find out that the nation to which he fought for, the nation to which he said the independence of Ghana Ghana, his beloved Ghana, is now part of the Morovia group, no longer part of the Casablanca group. His beloved Ghana is now a slave nation because of a man called Nana Akufo-Addo, a puppet, a sellout. Today, Nkrumah is in his grave rolling to find out that his nation that he's fought for, his nation that he believed in, his nation have now become a sellout. He is in his grave rolling to find out that his nation that he believed in, that this nation could have fought or should fight, should be the forerunner for the entire African nation, or for the entire African continent. Sorry to say that. But today, this nation is the nation that is supporting the bloodshed of another African nation. Today, this nation is the one supporting the ideology of US, of UK to kill Africans. A nation today that is no longer supporting the ideology of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He's rolling in his grave. So these 4 people here at Independence Square, these 4 people coming together on a platform, they never believe it. Their slave and their slave master never believe it. That this young man could have pulled these 4 prominent people in one space. They never thought of it. Unforeseen reason, they never saw it coming. Listen to the English they're going to speak in this video. They canceled the program for unforeseen reason. So are you telling us that the Afrikaner is a terrorist the same way their slave master, the scrap, Kwame Nkrumah? Are you telling me Peter Obi is a terrorist, Nana Akufo-Addo? Unforeseen reason. Is that an unforeseen reason that you stop these people from coming to speak to their Africans? Are you telling me Julian Malema is a terrorist, Nana Akufo-Addo? Are you telling me Patrick Lumumba is a terrorist, Nana Akufo-Addo, the Ghanaian authority? Because you say you cancel the program for unforeseen reason. What is that unforeseen reason? To have these 4 prominent speakers on one program. It is an unforeseen reason because you did not believe, or you did not have the thoughts or the vision that this man was going to pull these people in one box to speak. You never believe it. That's why you gave me the platform. But on the other hand, people are there saying the organizer of the program, he don't have this, he don't have that, he don't have vision about what the program was for. Listen, our forefather told us the revolution will not be televised. That is why we are Pan-Africanists, because we listen to the voices of those that came after us. It's not everything that you're going to televise. It's not everything that you're going to put on media, because first of all, the media is not controlled, but it's controlled by the enemies. So when they said the revolution will not be televised, not everything we're going to publish, because I listened to this platform. They have million plus subscribers. I listened to the platform, and according to them, the program did not have this. They never had their agenda. They never had what I was going to talk about. They never had it. Not everything going to be televised. Not everything going to be published. Especially when we know what we are going to do in the eyes of the colonizer is a threat. We are not going to publish it. On that day, we'll speak to our people. When they hear it, When the enemy hear it, then that's it. But we are not going to publish it. So the unforeseen circumstances, the program was canceled. It was because of one of these two. These 4 prominent Africans. They were not coming to speak to the African youth about Christianity, unforeseen. They were not coming to speak to the African youth about missionary, unforeseen. They were not coming to speak to the African youth about theological school, unforeseen. They were coming to tell them about their belongings. They were coming to tell them that Africa belongs to you. They were coming to tell them that you have to wake up. They were coming to tell them that do not be afraid. The new Africa. Unforeseen reason. Let's continue to the video.
To the United States, Dr. Afrikan Chiumbori of Zimbabwe was scheduled to speak at a highly anticipated Pan-African political event in Ghana on January 7, 2024. However, the event dubbed the convention was abruptly cancelled, sparking criticism and disappointment from attendees, dignitaries, and observers across Africa. What was this event about? Why has the Ghanaian government stopped it from happening as planned? And why are people criticizing the government of Ghana for the event's cancellation? In today's video, we will offer deep insight into these questions and more. Before we dive into our topic today, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channels and ringing the bell to be notified about all our exciting future videos. In an unexpected turn of events, the New Africa Foundation, the organizers of the convention, a highly anticipated Pan-African event that was scheduled to take place at Ghana's Blackstone Square on January 7, 2024, released an official statement at the last minute, confirming the abrupt cancellation of the much looked forward to gathering. We regret to inform you that the government has cancelled the above Pan-African event, which was to take place today at the Independence Square in Accra, Ghana. We have just been informed of the cancellation of this event a couple of hours before its commencement. We understand the anticipation and excitement surrounding this event, and we share in the disappointment of our supporters. Please be aware that this situation is and was beyond our control. The statement read. The politically affiliated event, which was approved in November 2023, sought to bring together thought leaders.
Sorry, folks. Let me address a comment here because I believe sometimes when we see some comments, we need to address it. And it is one of those comments that I have seen. We're going to get to the video, but let me address this comment. Now, Paulina said, did this speaker know about the intention of those who invited them? Okay, first of all, I think you came late on this channel, on this platform. This platform is not here to pick and choose. This platform is here to lay down both sides if we are to speak to both sides. There is not a platform where we come and speak on opinion. We do research and make sure we even study it and listen to every video and analyze it before we come up here. This is not a place where we just go and take video and I can show it, not even watching it, not even understanding the content. This is not a place where we just speak about somebody and not even understanding what they stand for. So for you to write and say, did this speaker know about the intention of those who invited them? That's an insult to those speakers. If only you know who P.A. Lumumba is, if only you know who he is, P.A. Lumumba is not a man that you will invite without knowing who is inviting him. Then he just wake up and start coming without doing any research. That is an insult to this man. I don't think you know who P.L. Lumumba is. I'm going to address your question, but let me just tell you something. I don't think you know who Dr. Afrikan is. Because if you know who Dr. Afrikan is, you will not write what you just wrote here. She is not someone that you will just invite and she just wake up and start coming. She's not looking for publicity. She is not looking for attention. If only you know who this person is. If only you know who Judah Maleman is. He is not someone that you will just take a phone or you will just send a letter and you see him coming because he's looking for a platform to sell his product or he's looking for a platform to get more audience. I don't think you know who Judah Maleman is. He's not someone that you will just invite and he start running, coming to you. I'm sorry, I'm not coming at you, but sometimes caution needs to be addressed. The way in which they ask or they are rating. I don't think you understand who Peter Obi is. But let me finish reading your comment. I will address it one by one. Did this speaker know about the intention of those who invited them? Now, first of all, I think you came late. I first started with a background of who Kwame is, the program planner. Maybe you came late. I gave a background of who this guy is. And even show another video where he was interviewed on the Money Show. We don't come with opinion or biases here. We don't do bias here. We are Pan-Africanists and we speak in the interest of Africa and African people. So this is not a platform you think you will come and joke. If you want to ask question, we will answer it. Just pose your question. We see everything that is passing here. Everything you write, we see it. So once I get on it and we think it's something to be addressed, we'll address it. We are not boasting here, but you are not seeing empty-headed people here. So go do some research and see who P.L. Lumumba is or who Dr. Afrikan or who Judah Maleman is. Let's continue to read what you wrote. We do not want anyone to come to destroy the peace Ghana is enjoying. What is peace? That's the question we should be asking. What is peace? Oh, Ghana is enjoying peace. I urge you to stay on this platform until we finish. Like I said, there's no opinion here. You're going to see for yourself Ghanaians speaking. So what is peace? The Ghanaian going to tell you what is peace. Sit and end the platform. End this platform today. If you don't want to come back, it's fine. But sit and end it. So what is peace? The Ghanaian, I'm not going to answer that for you. So I will leave it onto the Ghanaian to answer it for you. I'm glad you brought this question. To tell you this is not a platform of opinion. So the Ghanaian going to answer your question. Or that question that I posted. What is peace? We do not want anyone to come to Ghana. You see, you speak of Dr. Afrikan as anyone. You speak of P.L. Lumumba as anyone. You speak of Judah Malema as anyone. I think you are comfortable with what you have and don't care for the African masses. And people like you, I planted in our society. It's about you individualism. You don't care about the other people. You don't care how they live. You call that peace. What do you call peace? Which one of the African country or a nation in peace? What you call peace? Don't be content with what you have and disregard the other people. You are one of them. You just prove it. Ghana, like she said, we do not want anyone to come to destroy the peace in Ghana. Ghana is enjoying now. Please change your country first. You see? Which country? You have a colonial mindset. Please change your country now. You have a colonial mindset. Which country are you talking about that should be changed? Those nations in Africa divided, those nations that have bowlers. The 50 states in America, do you know that they were separated before? But the same thing they're doing on the African continent, divide and conquer. They know they didn't want for nobody to come and conquer them. So they fought hard to unite all 50 states. But these 50 states, I can say, they were a country by themselves. They were ruled differently. Then Europe, you see that. They are united. They're all together. It is only the African continent that we have this nation and we still call ourselves face your country first. Face your day. So you see yourself as Ghanaian, but the people, so you supported Ghana to go to Niger to kill Nigerian. You supported that. You supported ECWA to go to Ghana. You supported Nigeria to put sanctions on Niger. You supported that. You see how naive you sound? So you supported Nigeria to cut the supply line of electricity to Niger. You supported that. And then you say, face your individual country first. What kind of freedom Ghana have? Go and do some research to talk about, do you know who those people, you know, the people you're talking about, you know who are they? Do you know what stability those people have brought on the African continent? Those people have made impact on the African continent. Then your so-called president called Nana Akufo-Addo. Then your so-called president, most of those ECWA leaders, the people you see on our screen, they have made great impact. Then your ECWA leaders, if you don't understand, go and do some research. Now let's continue here.
In Africa, including Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, Peter Obi, Julius Malema, and others to speak on key challenges confronting Africa's development. The convention was also speculated to be associated with unveiling the leader of the new force political movement, a nascent political movement spicing up Ghana's scene with social media-driven campaigns like the Man in the Mask and calls for youth inclusion. Though unregistered, shrouded in some controversy, it's tapping into dissatisfaction with current parties, attracting young Ghanaians, and stirring debate about alternative voices and approaches to the country's future. Consequently, the announcement of the abrupt cancellation came as an unpleasant surprise to the patrons, journalists, dignitaries, and thousands of attendees who were present at the venue, eagerly anticipating the unveiling of a potential new leader and a transformative political agenda. The sudden cancellation left everyone puzzled with conflicting accounts emerging about the reasons behind the last-minute decision. While some contend that the gathering was stopped by the police and national security acting on government orders, others assert that some speakers, including Dr. Ekana Chiombori Kwao, failed to turn up, leading to the event cancellation. The Office of the President's Diaspora Affairs Directorate offered an explanation for the sudden cancellation of the Convention 2024, saying the decision to revoke the permission was prompted by the emergence of an unforeseen state event.
Now, the event was canceled by the emerging of unforeseen. But the emerging of unforeseen. Paulina, I hope you're here to listen. An event that will awaken African youth to become self-sufficient. You call that disturbing the peace of Ghana? So you see the reason why it was canceled. The Ghanaian authorities are not clear with their statement. But the emerging of unforeseen, they did not know that this man was going to pull out these prominent speakers. They did not know. They did not know that Dr. Afrikan was going to be dead. They did not know that P.L.O. Lumumba was going to be there. They did not know that Julius Malema or Peter Obi was going to be there. and emerging. So the Ghanaian authority are telling us they got to know that when these 4 people will be there, it was going to be problem to them. It was going to waken up the youth. It was going to change the perspective, the mindset of the youth in a different direction. To take ownership of their continent. To take ownership of the so-called very perspective nation that you, Paulina, you are talking about. Develop your country first. What is development to you in the first place? What is development and what is peace? What is development and what is peace? Because development is not foreign people coming into your country and establishing businesses. That's not development. Development is not foreign people coming to your country, building roads and owning it. That is not development. Building businesses, owning it. That is not development. Foreign people come into your country, money and resources. That is not development. And taking a raw material to their country. That is not development. Just because you're having roads, just because you're having tall building and this, that, you call that development? That is exploitation. Because those that are coming there, they have to settle. And that by itself, you become powerless. That's how a colony operates. A sophisticated colony. If you don't understand colony, go and define it again and see the definition of a colony. That is a sophisticated colony. Because at the end of the day, your people suffer, your people die, your people have no access to electricity, no access to safe drinking water, your people still struggle. The minimal resources that are enriching the foreigner, your people cannot get it. A sophisticated colony. You call that, go and develop your nation first. So you see, you see Togolese as your enemies. Not even your brother, not even your sister. You see them as different people, different nations, but on the same African continent. You say you're African. The Togolese African. The Senegalese African, Ivorian African, Liberian African, Sierra Leonean African, Nigeria African, Niger, Burkina, I mean, name the rest. They are all Africans. Do you see any European nation? They are seriously talking to another European nation? Oh no, I am not poor. I'm not from Poland. I'm from England. Go and take care of your problem. I am not from Germany. I am from Norway. Go and take care of your. Do you see them doing that? Hey, Jimmy Papa. Only Africans. We always go by the definition other people, our enemies gave us. Only Africans want to accept what is not in our interest. What is in our interest, we don't accept it. Let's continue here.
Scheduled to take place at the Blackstar Square venue at the same time. The Office of the President's Diaspora Affairs Directorate also revealed that the 10,000 Ghana cedis paid by the organizers for the venue's use would be refunded and apologize for any inconvenience caused. However, this so-called clarification from the Office of the President's Diaspora Affairs Directorate did little to assuage the disappointment and skepticism of all interested parties. Many are questioning how the event, which received official approval from the government of Ghana itself in November 2023, had now somehow conflicted with an unforeseen state event scheduled to take place at the same venue and time. The presence of several armed military men and police who manned the entrance to the Blackstar Square, preventing entry to members of the public, also raised a lot of eyebrows, with many questioning the need for such force in preventing a simple Pan-African event from taking place. Hours after the cancellation, the leaders of the convention organized a press conference at Cantonment. Professor PLO Lumumba said, "We came to Ghana to share a message of hope that Africa needs at this time, and there's no better place to begin that message than Accra, Ghana. It is in Accra that Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, almost 67 years ago, spoke to the world and said, 'Independence of Ghana is meaningless until it's linked with the independence of the African continent. He added that 67 years later, they were gathering in Accra at the very spot where Ghana's founding fathers had stood to make declaration, but they were strangely stopped. Professor PLO Lumumba.
Okay, so you see another error. So this was not even the first time that the Ghanaian Authority or Nana Akufo-Addo stopped a program. There was another program that should have been heard before in Ghana by Professor Lumumba. Pauline, how are you watching? How are you watching? And Nana Akufo-Addo again, his authority canceled it. A program that will educate Ghanaian, a program that will educate Africans. You know, just remind me, the colonizer and the colonialist, the colonialist and the neo-colonialists are working. You know, just how in the United States, they said the teaching of African history is critical because it will make the colonizer guilty. The teaching of African history in America is critical because it will make the colonizer, the dissenting, look bad. It will make them look guilty. Right? So it is the same way in Africa now. The neo-colonialists are saying that teaching, the remembering of African history is critical because it will make their colonial master look bad. And the colonial master will think that the neo-colonialists are not supporting or protecting the colonialist interest. So they stop it. So this program is beyond. Pauline, I want you listening. I'm not measuring your name because I want to measure it, but it's due to your comment you wrote. So now you see, change is what they still will cancel. And now they say unforeseen circumstances, right? And they did not name that. In fact, they said emerging. That's the important part. They said the program was canceled because of an emerging unforeseen. To have full power in the house, to have Dr. Afrikan, Peter Lumumba, Peter Obi, and Judah Malema. The earliest was Peter Lumumba, but so to speak, the other three, they are still young, vibrant. So that's the kind of emerging unforeseen reason or circumstance that they canceled the program. And not only that, it was unforeseen because people came from all sort of area, from part of the continent. Even people came from the diaspora for this program. They did not believe a young man of such could pull out program like this. They did not believe a young man of such could be the definition of the new Africa. They did not believe a young man of such could be the center of one united Africa. They did not believe. Unforeseen reason. Let's continue. We will continue to see the unforeseen reason.
Lumumba, however, said, the message will be served as the journey of hope continues with the youth. The timing and nature of the convention's cancellation, as well as the subsequent comments from the event organizers and the office of the presidency, have led many to believe the Ghanaian government, currently led by President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is on a mission to quell dissenting voices, compromising Ghana's much-cherished democratic values. It is noteworthy that the event was also touted to be the platform that will officially unveil the face behind the fast-rising opposition New Force movement. So the fact that the entire event was cancelled so abruptly reflects poorly on the government. Already, the spokesperson for the New Force movement, Belgian businesswoman Shalima Nabusi, has been arrested and re-arrested and even had a residency permit revoked by the Ghana Immigration Service. Many view this as a thinly veiled attempt by the Akufo-Addo government to simply frustrate political opposition. Currently, there are conflicting narratives. One on hand, The government of Ghana claims the convention was cancelled at the last minute because it conflicted with a state event scheduled to take place at the same time and venue. On the other hand, even though the event's organizers acknowledged the cancellation in a statement, they did not corroborate the government's narrative of the convention conflicting with a state event scheduled to take place at the same venue and time. Although there is a lot of confusion, the abrupt nature of the event cancellation, the anticipated unveiling of the face behind the new force movement at the convention, which never came to fruition, the presence of heavy security at the venue to stop people from entering, weak explanation from the government, and historical occurrences, such as the arrest of some of the new forces top brass, lends more credence to the speculation that the Ghanaian government is trying to quell dissenting voices, raising concerns about potential infringements on freedom of association and free speech in the country. Your perspective matters. Do you think the Ghanaian government is guilty of deliberately suppressing free speech and freedom of association?
Exactly, Miss Cardi. That's what it did. All right. That's what it did exactly. Now, so, like I said, this place is not a place where we come of opinion. We try to dig behind everything. If we don't have the resources to present on, we don't present on it. We keep it until we can have it. All right. This was the same platform. Okay, when a coup happened in Gabon, people were happy on the internet. Oh yes, oh yes. This was the platform that came and said, no, that was not a coup. And we spoke about it and we said, you're going to see it later on that it was not a coup. And later on, people saw it clear. So on this platform, by the wisdom of our forefather, we get to see things. If we don't speak about it, if we don't have the evidence, if we don't know what to say, we leave it until we have it and speak about it. All right. So now you get the picture, okay, of what went on. You can also do your judgment after listening to this, right? So what went on in Ghana, okay? It was not because this man wanted to become president. This man had a political ambition. I mean, anybody can have a political ambition. Nana Akufo-Addo had a political ambition. Who stopped him? Anybody can have a political ambition. But listen, folks, listen to what they said in their own letter. For emerging unforeseen reason. Now, we already discussed one of that emerging unforeseen reason, right? We said it surprised the Ghanaian authority and the ECOWAS, because this was not only the Ghanaian authority, this was also about ECOWAS. Imagine you have Peter Obi in that area. Do you know what Peter Obi was going to say? It was going to spark a movement in Nigeria. Because since the election, Peter Obi have not really yet spoken. Okay? Who knows what Peter Obi was going to say over there? It pertaining to the election. Who knows? Because this program was hosting, I can say, the entire war. And when I say the entire war, people came from all places, all areas to come on this program. Who knows what Peter Obi was going to say pertaining to the election in Ghana? Because people have been waiting to listen to Peter Obi. Who knows? Probably the Nigerian authority, Tinubu, even called Nana Akufo-Addo and told them, no, you got to stop this program. That is one of the unforeseen reasons, the emerging unforeseen reason. Don't you understand? Don't just read and don't understand what you're reading. You have to read and try to look beyond what you are reading. You have to ask questions. Why? You think Nana Akufo-Addo acted alone? Change is what these people don't want. They don't want African youth to wake up. Now, let's look at another unforeseen reason. Another imagined unforeseen reason. Let's look at that and see. All right, Pauline, I hope you're still watching because what we're about to show is about to answer your question. You said Ghana is peaceful, right? You do not need nothing. Ghana is peaceful. Ghana is developed. Ghana is independent. Ghana is this. Pauline, I hope you are watching because these are Ghanaians about to speak. This is Ghana. This is not Europe. These people are not sitting in Europe or are not in America. They are in Ghana. All right? So listen to their frustration. Now, I want you to go and ask these people. I believe you are in Ghana. Where are these people? Why are you here? Ghana is peaceful. Ghana is independent. Go and see these people. All right? The youth are employed. So if Ghana is the way you describe it, why were these people here? So this is the emerging. They did not believe that this man was going to pull this crowd. The unforeseen, the emerging unforeseen. Listen to this. See it.
There's a message going on around. There's a messages going on that the program has been cancelled, It's not cancelled by the organizers. Okay, it should be well explained. It's cancelled by the above. Where is the above? That's what we want to know. We have come from far and near. People have come from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, from Nigeria, from Togo. They are all here just because of this program. People have come all day from all over. For us to get here and we are denied. I came here around 2 o'clock. 2 in the afternoon. 2 in the afternoon. Almost 8 o'clock. I was here.
Charlie, what happened
Is that Ghana leaders, they are a disgrace to the country.
Why?
They are a disgrace to us. How can you stop us from having such a program like this?
Do you know what the program is about?
Yes, it's about igniting us, about leadership, development, and empowerment. You are empowering leadership in Africa. You understand? So if you look at this program, this December, last year December, Davido, Shatawale, Sagodia, all of them, those politicians, they allow them. The one way go empower Africa, they said they don't go do. Correct. So we empower.
First of all, look at these people here. I mean, look at those youth, young people. Look right here. Let me see right here. Look here. Look at this boy. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at this boy here. What would he? I mean, I'm telling you, he should be either 12 or 15 years old. What will he be doing here? This boy here. Ask yourself a question, Pauline. I'm sorry, my sister. Ask yourself a question. What would this 15 or 10 years old boy be doing standing here? Isn't he supposed to be home talking about his lesson? Studying his lesson? What is he doing here? That's a question that you should be asking. Look at everybody here. They are all young people. What would they be doing here if they were employed, if things were fun? Okay, if Ghana was peaceful, like you said, if these people own their resources, have access to their land, their mind, what would they be doing here? What would this man right here, this young man, what would he be doing shouting? See how these people are voicing up. Look what they are saying. This was about uniting Africa. These are just common people, not even in leadership. These are youth. So they understand that the only way Africa can progress is to come from this colonial mentality of having Ghana, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, this, that. These are all young people. Their mindset is about uniting Africa. Look at what they are saying. This program was about uniting Africa. Pauline, do you understand? The program is not about individual nation. Like you said, focus developing your individual nation first. Do you understand? Now, do you understand the youth? Now, they have answered your question, right? I told you I'm not going to answer it. They're going to answer it. They are saying the program was about uniting Africa. These are youth, young people who understand the solution for Africa. Now you understand those old folks, all Africa, they don't understand the solution. These are young people who have recognized the only way to self-determination and self-independence is the unification of Africa. This is the second reason that program was canceled. Like they said in our memo or letter they wrote. They canceled the program for an emerging. They did not believe that, because first of all, 8 hours, people were already at the venue. People are already at the venue. Over 8 hours, they went there early. So before they make up their mind, the venue was already overcrowded. The venue was already packed. They did not believe it. And that's how they was like, no, they still have to be canceled because it's going to spark a movement before we make our mind in the entire Africa. They imagine, that's the imagine. They did not believe it. People were sitting over 8 hours waiting for these people. Now, Pauline, you that asked the question, the people that were invited, did they do some research to understand? The people that were invited, do you think they are common people? The people that were invited are even more than are worth than your president. One of those people are worth than Nana Akufo-Addo. The people that were invited, Judah Malema is worth in terms of the African liberation than your president Nana Akufo-Addo. P.A. Olumumba is worth in terms of Africa solution than your president Nana Akufo-Addo. Dr. Arakina is worth in terms of African solution than your president Nana Akufo-Addo. Do you understand? Do you know what it takes for someone to be at the program over 8 hours waiting? We'll do some research on those speakers the next time before you comment. This is not a platform we come with opinion. We are Pan-Africanists.
Last year, American Vice President, when she came here, this woman, when she be American, you give her the platform to come in. For our own Africa, I want Julius Malema to preach homosexuality.
So you understand what they are saying here was, why should Nana Akufo-Addo cancel such a program? Like I said, these are Ghanaian now, right? Let's go like this now because he wanted to be individual nation. These are Ghanaian. I'm not going to say these are African. So you can understand. But these are Ghanaian. But in holistically, these are Africans. What they are saying here is the Ghanaian government allowed Kamala Harris to go to Independence Square to preach about homosexuality. To preach about homosexuality to these youth. The Ghanaian government allowed it. So the Ghanaian government support for foreigners to go in Ghana, in Africa, to speak about homosexuality to the youth. But the Ghanaian government do not support an education base that will empower the youth. That's what they are saying here. The Ghanaian government support people who will go into the country that will have no impact on the youth. That's what they are saying here.
Giving the vice president, you understand, president? I want you to listen.
Okay, so how many people are supposed to speak?
You understand? Like 4 people.
Okay.
Like 4 people. All these people are freedom fighters in Africa.
Okay.
And you are saying we should, this youth, this generation youth, we should all the time rely on MPP and NDC foolishness. For how long are we going to rely on their foolishness?
All right, guys. So you're welcome once again to Kamaslight TV. Today I'm at the Independence Square of Ghana. I just came here to do my normal vlogs, talk to people, ask them about Africa. So when I got here, a program was supposed to come off over here, the convention. I don't really have details about the program. So when I got here, they said the program has been called off. So I saw this gentleman. I decided to ask him what the program is about, and he's about to explain to me. Bro, what's your name?
I'm Abraham.
Abraham.
Yes, please.
Please, do you know what the program is about?
Yeah, basically the little information I have is a program to enlighten the youth. Yeah, so we all decide to come and to be enlightened. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the whole purpose of the program.
Yes, please. And we have people like Malema, Pitobi, Julius Malema, and Professor Lubumba, who are here to enlighten the youth. Okay. Because in this country, the youth are always been called having coconut head. So if people like Malema, Professor Lumumba are here to inculcate the knowledge that they have into the youth, I think the program should be cancelled because we have always been called. The youth have always been called having coconut head. Okay. So I think it's a good program to enlighten the youth. Okay. Yes, but it's unfortunate that the program has been cancelled.
Charlie, what happened?
What happened is that Ghana leaders, they are disgrace to the country.
Why?
They are disgrace to us. How can you stop us from having such a program like this?
Do you know what the program is about?
Yeah, it's about igniting us, about leadership, development, and empowerment. You are empowering leadership in Africa. You understand? So if you look at this program, this December, last year December, Davido, Shatawale, Sagodia, all of them, those policemen, they allow them. The one way go empower Africa, they said they don't go do.
Correct.
So we empowered. Last year, American Vice President, when she came here, this woman, when she be American, you gave her the platform to come in. So, in Africa, I want Julius Malema to preach homosexual, giving the vice president, you understand, president, I want Julius Malema to speak on homosexual.
Okay, so how many people are supposed to speak?
You understand, like 4 people.
Okay.
Like 4 people. All these people are freedom fighters in Africa.
Okay.
And you are saying we should, this youth, this generation youth, we should all the time rely on MPP and NDC foolishness. For how long are we going to rely on their foolishness? For 32 years. You understand?
Development.
You understand? They said this is influence from above. Who is the above? This is the influence. Who is in above? Nobody can decide for us. Order from above.
That's why the program is not.
Which order? Which above?
Okay. On the personal level, why do you don't want it to happen?
It is scared. It is because they are scared that if the youth coming out, the youth in this Africa, they happens to get the truth that we are supposed to get. We will no longer follow their corruptional activity. We will no longer follow their foolishness. And at the end of the day, when the truth is being opened, these people can no longer tell us that do this, do that, do that, do that. You understand? And they go and take money from this white in order to come and sit on that all the time. We go to Europe and we are slaves. In our own country, we are still slaves. So for how long? And we are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting from generation. Generation. Our fathers couldn't fight for us. That's why some of us, we are still pushing yogurt. We are still selling pure water. There is teenage pregnancy. There is some robbery. As we are standing here, you go to the center, and there are you sitting jobless, smoking, engaging in foolishness in our center. And you are telling me that all these people, government don't have provision for them. They go and take money, national cake, they sit on national cake, and we are still suffering. For how long?
Our first president said,
for how long?
Who is our first president?
He said our independence is meaningless unless the whole it's connected to the whole Africa.
You understand?
Right. You said the order from above. If you have an order from above, use it to transform this nation. Use it to create jobs
for the people. So these are the messages that they are coming to. We want to listen. That is why we are here.
Okay, so you're not here for just the music.
We are not here for music. We are not here for music. We are here for knowledge. We are here for knowledge. We are here to learn. We are here to have research. We are here to learn. To open way for the next generation. We are here to listen to what can build us. To focus on the future.
Okay.
They get me. Our leaders goes out borrowed.
Okay.
They became puppet to the whites.
Okay.
We the citizens became slave.
Okay.
We can still be slave to the whites. We can be slave to the whites. We want the truth. Julius Malema, Professor AUMD Lumumba, all of them are the speakers of the show. And these people are coming to open our eyes. In South Africa Parliament, Julius Malema is not giving them the chance to misbehave. The way the whites are misbehaving. In this country, they can't
Thank you very much. I'm James Tukofi Tamakulu.
Okay. Why you're also here for the program?
I'm here for the program. The fact remains that I was not even in the country.
Please speak a bit louder.
I was not around. I came down this evening just because of this program. You know, we have reached a time where the truth is not being told.
Okay.
When you say it this way, they will say you belong to NDC.
Yeah.
When you say it that way, they say you belong to MPP. But we have been following the works of Professor P.L.O. Lumumba for a long time. We have been following the works of Julius Malema for a long time. And we have been following the works of Dr. Afrikan for a long time. Now, these people are coming to tell us the truth.
Okay.
And we are here to also gather something to develop our nation.
Correct.
For the next generation. Nkrumah has died, but his ideas are there. And these are people who propound the ideas of Kwame Nkrumah. So we are here at least to come and learn something that we also can use to at least push the next generation forward. Just arrived and they said the program has been cancelled. In fact, today is the saddest day in the history of this country. Because we have come here to get knowledge, to liberate this country. Are you getting it? The country is drowning. The country is drowning. And the lawyer is there as our president. You leaving the program until just this evening.
What reason did he give for canceling?
He didn't give any.
He did not give any
order from above.
Listen, let me tell you something. Today, around 2 p.m., there was a helicopter flowing, going up and down, circulating almost like 10 times, threatening that we should never continue the program. Today, there was a helicopter. Ask anybody who has been here since morning. Wow. There was a helicopter. So if this helicopter can be given warning through order from above, through military action, so can they use this military action to enforce the betterment of this country?
Okay, let me ask a very good question.
Correct.
Don't you think all these resource people coming to speak over here, Prof. Lumumba,
Dr. Afrikan,
don't you have people like that in Ghana? Like, don't you have people on the same level with this people that can? You said we were waiting for them to come and tell us.
Exactly. It's only one person we see.
And who is that person?
This man, Kwesi Pratt. Kwesi Pratt. You ask if we have the only silence all of them. But we are fighting.
We have those people, but they silence all of them. So we need people outside the box to come and speak for us. Today is the work of the OSP. What is the work of the OSP? The Special Prosecutor Officer. This guy has been.
All right, I know they have said a lot, but Pauline, again, I mention your name because of your comment. Now you listen to what the young man said. This young man right here, when a journalist asked the question, right? I dare not eminent Ghanaian authority from the parliament should be here to talk to you people. And what did this boy, this little boy right here, you see this boy right here, what he said? He said there are people who are there, but they have been silent. Now, Pauline, you said Ghana is peaceful. What is peace? That's why I asked you what is peace. And like I said, I'm not going to answer your question. The Ghanaian going to answer your question. And these are youth. Look at this boy right here. He said there are people, but those people have been silent. What is the peace? If you are silencing people from speaking, and not only that, listen to what he said. And in fact, The man that they call Kwesipra. Kwesipra is how they call it from the CPP. Okay? The Conventional People's Party. All right? And this man worked with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. 1949. June 4th, when the CPP was founded, the Conventional People's Party. And when Nkrumah came with the vision, the motto, self-government now. Because before he went to jail with the United Goko Convention, the motto was self-government within the shortest possible time. But while he was in jail, men like Kwesipra, men like Dr. J.B. Danquoy, they hold the party together until Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was free. And when he was free, he came out. That's the time they formed the CPP, Conventional People's Party. And he said self-government now. Right? Now, only that man was there, Kwesipra. So all the other people have been silent. They silenced him. Who did it? The government, the ruling party. And you call that peace? Ghana is peaceful? Look at these people here. What are they doing here? If Ghana had, how they call it, unemployment, these people will not be here. Look at what they are saying. They were there to listen to these people because they want knowledge. Did you hear that, Pauline? Go and do research about P.L. Lumumba, Dr. Afrikan, Judah Malema. Go and do your research. And then you will know who these people are. And then the next time you hear say these people are coming for an event, you, I believe, you'll be going there because you want to go learn something. Now, that's another aspect of why the program was canceled. The emerging unforeseen. Look at how the place was crowded. They did not believe that this man was going to put up crowd. They did not believe that youth. I mean, what? This youth, why would they be here? You don't even see old folks. These are all youth who are hungry for change, who are hungry for knowledge. And look what it said. We came here for knowledge because we know who those people are. And look what it said. It is not about us now, but we want to fight for the next generation. Look, these are youth. These are youth in their 20s. In their 20s. In 18, 19. But look, they are talking about they want to fight for the next generation because they know their generation is out of debt. Their generation have been messed up by corrupt leader, puppet leader, set out. It is so disheartening and frustrating for somebody in their 18, somebody 18, 19, 20s, and talking about we are here to fight for the next generation. That's supposed to ring in your head. Pauline, if you're a caution-minded person, that's supposed to sink deep down into your heart. An 18 years old man who still have life in his favor, but is saying we are here to fight for the next generation. Tell me. He already know that his generation have been messed up by the current leader. And he said Ghana is fine. Ghana is messed up. Look at these people here. I am not the one speaking. They are the one. I hope you stay here, Pauline. Like I said, be here and listen. This is that one video. We're going to show another one. This is just one video. So listen, be here. Please, be patient. Be here and see.
Silence them. Truth cannot come out. Anytime this guy wants to work, Attorney General stops this guy. Anytime this guy wants to work, Supreme Court stops this guy. And this time around, we are getting Professor Julius Malema, who is coming, who cannot be stopped. And yet, you are stopping that guy. For how long are we going to be?
They are not happy because the people coming are not Ghanaian. They want Ghanaian people to stop.
Then the business should stop coming to Ghana. The business should stop coming to Ghana.
Okay.
They are African. They are African. They are African. They are black. They are fellow black. Please wait. Africa, we are one. Please wait. Boss, we are African. Wait. American vice president, the woman came to Ghana. Why did you give the woman the chance? And our African people, you say they are not Ghanaian. Why last year, American vice president came to Ghana, you gave her the platform to come and demonstrate gay and lesbianism exhibition.
Boss, I'm coming. Boss, listen. If somebody said there is something like Ghana, there is something like Nigeria, I don't see anything like that. There was a land with black people, and this land was divided.
Pauline, again, that go to your question. I told you your question is going to be answered by the video you're going to watch. I'm not going to answer it. Listen to this young man. You said in your question, right? We should focus on our individual nation to develop our individual nation, right? But look at this young man. I believe you are older than this man in age. But in wisdom, this man is more wiser than you, based on your comment. Look what he said. There is nothing like Ghana. There is nothing like Nigeria. There is nothing like how they call it, calling those nations, Ivory Coast, Benin. Look, this young man, why should he so be wise to speak like that? There is nothing like Ghana. There is nothing like this. There is nothing like that. We only have one Africa. Why would this young man think so brilliantly like that? And you, Pauline, you talking about we should focus on individual nation. But look at this young man. At the program, he said, no, it's not about individual nation. It's not about Ghana or Nigeria. It's not about that. Those are colonial names. Those are colonial ballers. It's about Africa. Why would this young man, Pauline, why would this young man think like that? I told you I'm not going to answer your question. To prove to you, this place is not a place we come to joke. You see your question you posted, I already have an answer for it. So that's the answer. Now, what are you going to say?
Guided by Europeans, which they named it based on the things they take from those lands. So then we decide to fight individually or as groups. But looking forward, we realize that one person cannot fight the battle. Then we need to come together. Nkrumah started it. Other people joined. But later on, we have people like these people who have given the order, who deny them the opportunity. But this new generation, we realize that it is very important that we Africans, we need to unite before we can develop. Now we have a day like this, meeting these good people, resourceful people that we've been following all these years. And now you have given an order to deny us the youth this opportunity.
Why is the video coming to look at the people you see? Why is the video? If they are not Ghanaian, why is the video coming here? Why is a request coming Ghana? Why is these people coming to Ghana? If these people are not Ghanaian, why are these people coming to Ghana to come and perform?
Just say because they are not Ghanaian. I am the one asking the question. Correct. Maybe this is not. I only ask that. Don't you think we have equally good people in Ghana that can lead?
The work of the OSP, the special prosecutor. This guy has been silent. Attorney General is not giving this guy the platform to perform. Martinamidu has made it clear to this guy that he's a corrupt man, and the guy cannot even come to even combat
democracy. Democracy is
we got democracy. That this country is a country that they allow people to speak free and fair. People, you are telling me, are we sleeping? We don't have democracy. We don't have democracy. We don't have democracy. We don't have democracy.
Democracy is a terminology in a political science. It has different meaning based on how it is being practiced.
We don't have democracy.
No one can democracy. Democracy is a term. When China has democracy, it is different from that of Ghana. Democracy is based. Your democracy is based on how you practice it. So it doesn't matter. So there can be a democracy and they will not allow you to express your feelings. That is not. That is not.
We don't have democracy.
All right, we're going to go another video again. Now, again, Pauline, your question has been answered from this video, right? Listen to this youth. They are saying there's no democracy in Africa. There's no democracy in Ghana. I thought you said Ghana was peaceful. I thought you said Ghana have democracy. I thought you said Ghana was good. But these are Ghanaian. So I don't know. Your poster is contradicting. These are Ghanaians saying there's no democracy in Ghana. And listen what he said. This young man behind here that spoke earlier, right? Listen what he said. What he's trying to say, right? And I'll paraphrase it. We don't have to go by Western definition of democracy. We don't have to go by what they tell us. And then look what he said. In terms of democracy, he said, we can say China have a democracy. Now, what he said democracy can be defined based on the life of those people. So based on his definition, he said, for example, that China is a democracy because the Chinese are doing things for themselves. The Chinese are in power. The Chinese build their own economy. It was not America that built the Chinese economy. It was not Europe that built the Chinese economy, that built the technology, that whatsoever manufacture. It's not America building it. Okay? Not Europe. It is built by Chinese. It is built by Chinese. Their technology. What pertaining to China, it is built by Chinese. That is democracy. According to his definition, which of course I support. Democracy is only defined by the effectiveness of the people. So we are not going to take Western definition. Democracy is by the people, for the people, of the people. If we go by that definition, we can bisect that definition. Which one of the countries in Africa that democracy is by the people, for the people, of the people? Name that country. A nation can only be a democratic nation if the effectiveness of that system, of that government affects the livelihood, the direction, the motivation, the conviction of those people. If that government is influenced by the people, not influenced by Europe and America, that is not democracy. So we can define democracy too. And that's what the boy is saying down there. I hope you understand, Pauline. Let's get to the next video. Your answer have already been, your question have already been answered. Not by me, but by them. Do you see the frustration in those people's faces? The unforeseen reason that was going to spark a movement, an uprising, that was going to affect the interests of Europe and America, the colonizer, the imperialists, and the neo-colonialists have to come in. You think this thing, that cancellation of the program, you think it was just something? No, that was Aqua. A call was made from Tinubu from Nigeria to Nana Akufo-Addo. That Peter Obi is coming. He's coming to leak out a secret. This thing has to be canceled. And unforeseen. That statement is not a light statement. They were observing. You know what I was going to do? Ghanaian was in Ghana. Nigeria was in Ghana to listen. It was going to spark a movement, an uprising. That's why they say an unforeseen circumstance. That they did not see it coming, but they saw it late. But guess what? They cancel it today. But tomorrow, they will not cancel it. Because it's going to be another African nation. They will not cancel it. They cancel it today, but tomorrow, they will not cancel it. You cannot stop the movement. Let's see another one. Oh, sorry, I was muted. So this video is the man who is coming to unveil himself. Like I said, I already talked about why he used the mask, why he changed his name to Freedom Julius Caesar, why he did that, right? I'm not going to explain that again. So for those of you that are coming late that did not see that part, after the recording, after the live broadcast have ended, please go back and watch the beginning, and then you will try to get the drift or try to see, what I said there. So I already explained why he wore masks, okay, why he had his identity, and then why he changed his real name to Freedom, how they call it, Freedom Jacob Caesar, why he did that. I explained why he did that, everything, right? So I'm not going to go into it. So this is him right here.
In 21 years of my life, I have been serving a nation, working so hard just to become an example of what wealth looks like. And building wealth comes from knowledge, comes from wisdom, comes from understanding. You need to get this value from your own surroundings. I grew up partly in Ghana, partly in England, and I came back to Africa. 2001. Unlike Martin Luther, I did not have a dream. I had a vision. I started watching the youth and the streets and the roads, the rules and the regulations, the conditions and the constitutions that is stipulated and embedded on us as Africans. I had to walk on a different path, and I was alone. My investment on the roads became a landmark. And whatever I invested on this landmark is a footprint. I am here for a legacy. I am part of your historians. And I know many people want to see the true side of me. I know you know they're not coming to Diakon, but I know you're still looking for Freedom Jacob Caesar. Yes, I am Great Christian, and I'm here. I'm not here to take your value. I'm here to add value to you. I discovered that the land that we belong to had so much wealth that until we turn it into our own, our economy will never be sustainable. And we cannot forever live in our countries with a box economy. I needed to create a middle income economy without being a part of the government. Why so?
All right, so that's him right there. First of all, I showed a video already from the morning show where he was talking about the youth, right? Now, he said one important thing. First of all, he said, in order to build, as I'll paraphrase it, in order to become a changed person, right? You don't have to go far. You have to look around you. The people around you, your community, your surrounding, your people are the one to help you make the change, not outsider. Now, first of all, why is he speaking on our perspective? How long have America been on the African continent? America is an outsider. Okay? How long have Europe been on the African continent? Europeans are outsider. How long have they been there? But they have done nothing. What we are striving for, they are the cause. We are fighting for freedom. We are fighting for self-determination. We are fighting for independence. They are the cause that we are fighting to get back what belongs to us. They are the cause. So why do you think they will help us? So that's the perspective he's speaking from. That it is only us. He's frustrated, right? How can the richest continent on planet Earth is the poorest? How can we have these resources? But yet then, it is the resources of Africa that make Europe like that, that is making America like that. But yet then we are poor. That's the perspective he's coming from. That no, the only way Africa can develop, we can use our resources to develop, it has to be African, not America, not Europe. Because they cannot help us. They never help us. They will never help us. In fact, They took advantage of our kindness. They enslaved us. They took advantage of our kindness. They colonized us. After they were done enslaving us, they was never done. They came by and divided Africa. Not that. After they did that, for about 70 years, they had Africa under colonization. From 1884 to the 1960s, 70 or 78 years. That did not end. They came back and they start hunting our revolutionary leader. They are outsiders, they are intruders, they are enemies. That's the perspective he was coming from, or he's coming from. Africa can only develop within, not with outside, with outsider, with intruder. These people, they are intruders.
Because I believe it's part of my responsibility. I took a different path. My movements, my foundation, my groups, and all of this have acquired some wealth. But the wealth that I reinvest back into society, it has become a part of my mission to make this change. I believe that I belong to Africa. I am a son of this soil, and I can add value to humanity. And I came here to do that. I came here to add value to this world.
Now, sorry, I'm going back. Now, to other platform that I watch, and again, I'm going to emphasize on it. This platform African platform have over 1 million viewers, right? Or subscribers. Their analysis was, he's boastful. He's boastful. He's claiming to be like Nkrumah. You know? He's claiming to be like other Pan-Africanists. Look, so what? So what? As long as his boastfulness is going to make great impact on the African people, on the African masses, that's all we care. That's all we care. We are not waiting for outsider to come and tell us that, oh, this person is a good leader for you. This person, and that's what has been happening. For each time the outsider, the colonizer, the European, right, the Westerner come and say, this African man is good. He speaks well. He's this. And then we accept it. But when our own Africans say who they are, then we want to judge him. Or he's boastful. Or he's taking himself to be Nelson Mandela. He's taking himself to be Nkrumah. Look, if anybody that take themselves to be Nkrumah, as long what they are doing is to empower Africa, is having an effective means of lifting Africans from that area to the next area, I don't care. In fact, I'll be more happy if he can be Nkrumah. I'll be more happy and pleased with my soul if he can be Patrick Lumumba. I'll be more happy and pleased with my soul if he can be Thomas Sankara. I'll be more happy and pleased with my soul if he can be Amika Cabral. That shouldn't be a judgment to bring any of our brother down who think like Nkrumah. Oh, you want him to think like Westerners, then you won't criticize him. Let's continue.
Into nature. I am not going to live here without God even being proud of me. And when I'm not here also, I want you to remember that I came. And I want my absence to be felt. And for that reason, I know you're looking for the man. And the man in the mask is sitting in front of you.
So the man in the mask is sitting in front of you, like I explained it already, right? But I'm just gonna go. Now he unveiled himself. The man in the mask is the man sitting in front of you because it's Africa. All right? He did not want to put his family in jeopardy, okay? They can hunt his family. And that's why people were so afraid. When he asked for a Ghanaian to be a spokesperson, they said no. They were scared. Because they know it's Africa. They can hunt you and hunt your people. Once you are fighting for change, you become an enemy. And that's why he covered his face. And that's why he changed his name. They did not know his name because he went with Freedom Julius Caesar. They couldn't tell if it was Kwesi. They couldn't tell if it was Kwame. You see it? So now he unveiled himself. And that's what he's saying down there. He's not afraid now. Now he has unveiled himself, who he is. He is a businessman. You see it? Let's continue here. Now, let me see. Somebody want me to get his name. Okay, I will have to give it. All right, I will have to give this name because let me give the name. Everything said, what is the name of the other platform? Now, the other platform is called the Two Snack, Two SNACK. It's a very big platform. Okay, they have about 1 million plus viewer or subscriber. All right, they have million subscribers and stuff. So they don't talk against African leaders, even if the African leader is wrong. They don't. Okay. At some point, at that time, we were Federation of African Liberation. We wanted to use our platform to speak on things that are happening around the world and in Africa. And they want us, they said, yes, we can use our platform, but we cannot speak against any African leaders. And that's how we drew back. Because there's no way you're going to limit us that we shouldn't speak against African leaders when African leaders are doing the wrong thing. That's how we did not use our platform to broadcast. That's how we did not use our platform. We said then, we sat in our own meeting, we discussed, we said then no. And since that's the case, we can't do it. And that's how we stopped using our platform. Okay? So it is that platform that they said Nana Akufo-Addo was a Pan-Africanist. Let's continue.
Nothing to be scared of. I came to you as your salvation. I don't invest in myself alone. I am investing in you. And truly, these innocent leaders sitting beside me, of course I will not go to them and tell them that, hey, I am a man in a mask and I want you to come to Ghana to support me to do this and this. And this man of these dignities and this woman with such power will say, yes, I'm going to follow you to come to Ghana to do your convention and all of that. No. It is part of the movement. We need to educate. We need to uplift our children. We need to voice out to them. If you are about to find out about this man in the mask, because I never spoke a word, you were looking for me. I didn't tell you whether I am into politics, whether I am an evangelist, whether I am a conventionist or a revolutionist. After this day, you will have to wait for me to share my policies and my visions with you. And if I'm the reason why the country or the government is not happy about these great voices coming to educate not only Ghana, but also Africa, then I'll take this moment to sacrifice myself, to unveil myself, because I have much respect for these great leaders beside me. It would have taken my own time to tell you that I am. But for this very moment, I am sacrificing myself to let you know that I'm that man. But I'm that man with a good purpose, with a great vision. I have a plan, and I have.
Now I'm going to take this out because I want you guys to see that the Afrikan, at those 3 or 4, how do you call it 3? Because Julian Maliman, okay, I think he spoke. I want you to see them, give their side of their story too, right? But now you see the reason why he had a mask on. Now he has unveiled himself, right? It's possible they are going to go after his business or his businesses. And that's why he had a mask on. But you heard him. He never spoke. Okay? He never gave his intention, whether it become politics. So all those things you see on the internet, people are saying, oh, he won't become politics. He had this, he had this. Never. He never spoke about it. They never interviewed him. And that's what he's saying here. He never did it. And now he's saying after this day now, they have to wait for him to come and say whether he into this or he into this. So everything you're seeing there, it is just people who are going around just saying what they want to say. But you heard it from the man. He was a man behind the man, and he never spoke whether he want to become president or whether he want to become this, whether he want to become this or whether he want to become that. Nothing. He never spoke to anybody. He never wrote anything on the internet of who he is, what he want to be. But now he's out there. I can tell you, his businesses going to be in threat because the colonialists and the neo-colonialists went to go after him. You see how they went after his spokesperson? That's the reason why in Ghana, people were afraid to become spokesperson when he was looking for a spokesman to come from Ghana. Now you see it. Let's continue it.
What happened is that Ghana so highly adaptable them as those of specifically request.
On January 7th, 2024, Ghana was supposed to witness a historic event. The event, which was titled the Convention, with a theme igniting the voices of Africa. This was a Pan-African gathering promising a new vision for the beautiful African continent. The convention was organized by the mysterious New Force African Foundation, but instead of groundbreaking speeches and vibrant discussions, the event was cancelled by the government of Ghana.
The world at large, they know that Africa's future is in the hands of our youth. So New Africa Foundation specifically requested us to come and address African youth, starting with the youth in Ghana. And from what I'm hearing, the youth had actually come from all over Africa, and some came from outside Africa, specifically to hear the message of empowerment, the message about our future, the message about the miseducation of not only our youth, but us as Africans. The message about empowering our children and letting them know that now it is the time for us to do what we must do to take our Africa back. For far too long, we have been lied to. For far too long, we have been miseducated. And so as elders,
sorry, folks, I have to pause, but I just want to remind you. So now, that's the unforeseen, the emerging unforeseen reason. So do you understand what it means to have P.L.O. Lumumba, Dr. Afrikan, Julia Malema, Peter in the same house, in the same area with the same agenda? It's like the 1963 Organization of African Unity coming together, where they had conflicting issues or sides with the Casablanca and the Moravia group, right? But with days, there was now going to be a Casablanca and Moravia group. You are only going to have either the Moravia group, period, or you have the Casablanca group, period. And I believe with this conference, it was just going to be the Casablanca group, period. Because all 4 people, leaders, they all had the same mindset and agenda. So it was just going to be the same message. You listen to that Afrikan, what she's saying down there. So like I said, the Ghanaian leaders said, and imagine, they did not know that these people were going to come to the event. They did not know the event was going to be like this. So all they thought, this man was just a who know him. Nobody know him. That's why this man was behind the mask. They did not know this man. Who is this man? They did not know him. They did not have the thought that it was going to turn out to be huge. Where people will come from different places. They did not know. But before they make up their mind, their hotels were all booked. Before they made up their mind, about 8 hours, people were already to Independence Quiet. They sat in there over 8 hours waiting. They did not know. They were surprised. What? That the Afrikan are going to be in the same place? P.L. Lumumba, Julia Malema, all these people are going to be together in the same place? Oh no, this program have to be canceled. That's the unforeseen. They imagine, oh no, these people are coming to educate the Ghanaians, they're coming to educate Africans. That's the unforeseen. Imagine unforeseen. Now you're hearing it from Dr. Afrikan and what they were there for.
Those of the ones who are sitting with me today and many others, we understand that we have failed our youth, but we do have a responsibility to make it right. And we do know that with our little wisdom and the energy and the intelligence of our youth, together, we can take our Africa in a new direction. That is what we came here to do. And that is what New Africa Foundation has asked us to do. We do know that our leaders cannot lead us on their own. They need all of us. So the message that we were going to deliver to our youth today was the message of hope, the message of resilience, and the message that says the Africa we want can only be built by us for us. And for us to succeed at doing so, we must be united. That the African youth are Africa's future. Without them, there is no future for Africa. And as elders, we have a responsibility to share with them the truth and nothing but the truth. That is the message that we came here to deliver. That is what New Africa Foundation had requested us to do. We may not be at the convention center, but we intend to continue to preach the gospel of truth until we reach the promised land. I have no doubt in my mind that we will get there. Because Africa, the Africans, the people I like to describe as the beautiful, intelligent, sophisticated, highly adaptable, and totally indestructible human beings, the mothers and fathers of humanity, we will get to the promised land. Woo! And that's why we're here.
We came here to Accra, Ghana, to share our message. The message of hope. The message that Africa needs at this time. And there is no better place in the continent of Africa to begin that message than Accra, Ghana. It is in this Accra, Ghana that the Osagie for Kwame Nkrumah, almost 67 years ago, spoke to the world and told the world that the independence of Ghana meant nothing if the continent of Africa was not free. 67 years later, we were congregating here in Accra, in the very same place where the founding fathers and mothers of Ghana congregated to share the message of hope. Invited as we were by the New Africa Foundation, with one single instruction that we have lamented for too long, agonized for too long, and the time is now to organize. That is the innocent message that we came here to deliver.
There's one simple hearing hack anyone can use to improve their hearing almost overnight. Did you know?
Unlike previous speakers have said, we might not be at the convention, but that will not stop the conversation. We only shifted venue, so the conversation continues.
So, what happened? Why did the Ghanaian government stop this highly anticipated event? Well, that is why we are here for today. But before we start, please don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you very much for your liking. Now, let's dive into it. The New African Foundation is an organization that operates as a self-funded organization dedicated to addressing socio-economic issues and making a positive impact on various communities in Africa. This organization aims to empower disadvantaged communities through initiatives like entrepreneurship training, employability programs, and financial literacy. The man behind this New African Foundation is this Ghanaian billionaire, Nana Kwame Bediako, who is also known as Freedom Jacob Caesar. So, this New African Foundation organized an event called the Convention, which was scheduled to take place in Ghana on the 7th of January 2024 at the Kwame Nkrumah Independence Square. The event aimed to bring together prominent African figures to discuss a transformative political agenda for the beautiful African continent. The event featured prominent African figures like Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, Peter Obi, Julius Malema, and Dr. Arikana Chihombore Kwao. So everything shows that this event was going to shake the African continent. But just hours before the event, the Ghanaian government denied access to the venue, which is the Kwame Nkrumah Independence Square, for security concerns and unclear intention of the organizers of the said event. The cancellation of the event by the government sparked debates across Ghana. Many saw it as an attack on fundamental rights and betrayal of the democratic spirit of the beautiful country Ghana.
Ghana should bow down. We as Ghanaians should bow down our heads in shame. All those calling for this, because Nkrumah that we hail is a Pan-Africanist. Right. We have Du Bois Center here. It's Pan-Africanism. So now there's a Pan-African movement in Ghana, and the so-called star of West Africa or Africa is now saying that there shouldn't be Africanism. What are they trying to tell us? So we want to see the powers that be saying that there's not going to be Africanism in Africa.
Following the cancellation of this amazing event, Nana Kwame Bediako, known as Freedom Jacob Caesar, who is the man behind this whole thing, revealed himself to Ghanaians as the man behind the marks in the controversial New Force billboards across the country. Nana Kwame Bediako expressed his intention to use the event to introduce himself, discuss his policies and his aspirations to lead Ghana as president in a press conference.
This is the conversation. Wisdom.
Thank you very much. In 21 years of my life, I have been serving a nation, working so hard just to become an example of what wealth looks like. And building wealth comes from knowledge, comes from wisdom, comes from understanding. You need to get this value from your own surroundings. I grew up partly in Ghana, partly in England, and I came back to Africa 2001. Unlike Martin Luther, I did not have a dream. I had a vision. I started watching the youth and the streets and the roads, the rules and the regulations, the conditions and the constitutions that is stipulated and embedded on us as Africans. I had to walk on a different path, and I was alone. My investment on the roads became a landmark. And whatever I invested on this landmark is a footprint. I am here for a legacy. I am part of your historians. And I know many people want to see the true side of me. I know you know Nana Kwame Bediako, but I know you're still looking for Freedom Jacob Caesar. Yes, I am Red Christian, and I'm here. I'm not here to take your value. I'm here to add value to you. I discovered that the land that we belong to had so much wealth that until we turn it into our own, our economy will never be sustainable. And we cannot forever live in our countries with a box economy. I needed to create a middle income economy without being a part of the government. Why so? Because I believe it's part of my responsibility. I took a different path. My movements, my foundation, my groups, and all of this have acquired some wealth. But the wealth that I reinvest back into society, it has become a part of my mission to make this change. I believe that I belong to Africa. I am a son of this soil, and I can add value to humanity. And I came here to do that. I came here to add value to this world and to nature. I am not going to live here without God even being proud of me. And when I'm not here also, I want you to remember that I came. And I want my absence to be felt. And for that reason, I know you're looking for the man. But the man in the mask is sitting in front of you. I am nothing to be scared of. I came to you as your salvation. I don't invest in myself alone. I am investing in you. And truly, these innocent leaders sitting beside me, of course I will not go to them and tell them that, hey, I am a man in a mask and I want you to come to Ghana to support me to do this and this. And this man of this dignity and this woman with such power will say, yes, I'm going to follow you to come to Ghana to do your convention and all of that. No. It is part of the movement. We need to educate. We need to uplift our children. We need to voice out to them. If you are about to find out about this man in the mask, because I never spoke a word, you were looking for me. I didn't tell you whether I am into politics, whether I am an evangelist, whether I am a conventionist or a revolutionist. After this day, you will have to wait for me to share my policies and my visions with you. And if I'm the reason why the country or the government is not happy about this great
All right, so I have to let it play because at the end, after this, the speaker spoke, the narrator said, the man behind the mask, he was waiting on this day to give his view and whatsoever about his political ambition and those things. That's why I let it play for people to see. Even though he spoke first, but even what he said, he did not mention anything about political ambition. All right. Like I said, I have not seen a video or even a research that I did that I went across that this man want to become president or he have a political party and things. But the thing here again, so what? If this man want to become president, so what? That's his dream. Everyone, I mean, people have a dream. That's his dream to become president. So you cannot suppress him because of his dream. That is a form of neocolonialism. You are practicing what exactly your slave master did to you. And that's what you're doing to your brother by killing his dream. What is wrong with somebody having a dream of becoming president? But again, He said he had a vision. Unlike Dr. King, who had a dream. In fact, Dr. King dreamed, he himself, he said that dream was a nightmare because he feared that he led his people into burning fire. He said, if I knew I could not have even get that dream. So he never had a dream. He said he had a vision. And he was working after his vision. That's the only thing he said. He is not a politician. So until you can come and prove to us that this man wanted to become president or he was a politician, he was not. He said he had a vision. And his vision was to uplift African youth. And you saw some of the work he was doing in there. His vision was to educate African youth. His vision was to make sure the resources. And he said, he came back and he sees that the same constitution from colonial time is still being used. Now, Pauline, if you are still here, you said, this man who did the invitation, did the speaker ever knew who this man was? You heard what he said, right? If you are smart. That means what he said. He said, I will not go with marks on my face to tell these people to come and support my agenda. You know what that means? If you are smart. He meant to say, he met these people already. So these people did not just agree to come to him. He met with them. They agree with his agenda. I don't know if he understood the English. He spoke there. He met with these people. He unveiled himself to these people. Well, look, the revolution will not be televised. You have to do research and listen to our forefathers what they said. There are some things that will be said for the colonizer to hear, but there are some things that will not be said. Even the colonizer do it. When they go have their meeting, do they have Africans there? When they have their meetings about Africans, they never televise it. You think they're stupid to televise it? You think they're stupid to go publish it? They only publish it after they have succeeded. Then they publish the recording. They publish their statement. Then we see it. There are some things they never publish it. And that's how our forefathers said, the revolution will not be televised. So yes, Pauline, he met with the speakers. And the speakers saw his agenda. And it was in line of the speaker vision. Pay attention. That's why he said he had a vision. You think he just went by saying he had a vision? So his vision matched with the vision of the speakers. This is WCC. When people speak, we look beyond. We look beyond in their head. We look into their head. What they mean by that thing that they said. You listen to Peter Obi, what he said. You might have changed the venue, but you did not change the vision. Look, pay attention. All of them have the same. Come on now. Come on. This is not a dream now. Because most dream, it can't come to fruition. Most dream, it can just be a dream and that's it. And we learn from Dr. King because he said his dream speech was a nightmare. He felt that he led his people into burning fire. So pay attention to the speaker. Peter Obi said you might have changed the venue, but you did not change the vision. And the organizer said what? He had a vision. And you heard Dr. Afrikan too. She emphasized on the same vision. Be smart here, folks. These things that was canceled, you think were just from Nana Akufo-Addo? No. Nigeria also spoke. They have made a call. What they said, 1 hour to the event, it was canceled. 1 hour to the event, it was canceled. And then they said power from above. You know what that means? There was call that was made quickly. Even I want to believe that they are colonial master, America or UK. They have already called. They have already called their puppet, Tinubu. They have already called their puppet Nana Akufo-Addo. They made a call point 1 hour to the event. When they got to know, no, they said no, these things is going to be different. They made call, they cancel it. You heard it. 1 hour to the event was canceled. And they said unforeseen, emerging unforeseen. You gotta be smart here. You think it was Nana Akufo-Addo one that just made a decision? Tinubu didn't make that decision. America didn't make that decision. UK, they make that decision with their colonial puppets. But I love what Peter Obi said. Those are wise people. You may change the venue, but you did not change the vision. You listen to Peter Lumumba. All of them speak as a visionary. All of them speak in one understanding. Now, this is the presentation. This is WCC. We are examining the cancellation of the program. This is what I have to present to you. You have listened to other platforms. You have listened to other viewers. Now you go and make a judgment after listening to other platforms, other viewers, and you have listened to this. We have examined it. We have dissected it from all angles. What do you think about the cancellation of this? You might change. I mean, listen to the statement. You might change the venue, but you did not change the vision. It was deep. The cancellation of this program is not what you see on the surface. This is a movement. You heard what I said? You cannot change it. You heard that to Afrikan. This is a movement. You heard P.L. Lumumba. This is we are here to organize. Like our historical man said. Organization is what will take us there. Secretariat. He said, organize. You heard P.L. Lumumba. Pay attention. Now you know why we're canceled. But you heard what he said. The venue, this event will still be heard. The message will still be given. In another country. Africa has 55 states. Ghana is just one. Ghana is just one. So the event must be here. You cannot stop the movement. That's what I have to give to you today. And that's how we examine the cancellation of the program that should have been held in Ghana. This is what went on. And that's what happened. Change is what they are afraid of. Opening the eyes of the youth, the masses, is what they are afraid of. The African proverb says, the old folks always says, the youth are the future. But guess what? They never prepare the youth. They never build the youth to be the future. It is so saddening that the youth have to wake up to build themselves in order to be the future. And then those that say the youth are the future are the ones that are oppressing or suppressing the youth. Well, this is today's presentation. I will see you all next week, Saturday, and also Sunday. This is the WCC. We don't talk about something we don't understand. Here's what I have to give you, and that's the truth, nothing but the truth. You can never hear it any better on most platforms, other than few platforms. One of them is the WCC. Peace.